Corruption is very, very contagious and accepted by the society. Avrigu kodbeku, ivrigu kodbeku, nange ಎಷ್ಟು ಬರ್ತದೆ. So today accepting bribe is nothing wrong, giving bribe is nothing wrong, making money is the only thing. ಮೂರು ಮುಖ್ಯಮಂತ್ರಿಗಳ ವಿರುದ್ಧ ಚಾರ್ಜ್ ಶೀಟ್ ಹಾಕಿದ್ದೀನಿ ಸರ್.
There is excellence, still the tech parks of the country are there. ಒಳಗಡೆ ತುಂಬಾ ಚೆನ್ನಾಗಿರುತ್ತೆ. ಆಚೆ ಬಂದಿದ ತಕ್ಷಣ you see the reality.
The government road building, if I have to pay 40-50%, how can the road be normal?
It can't be because there is a commission involved in the payment. So this has become a standard now in governmental actions. In every organ of the governmental institution is corrupt.
ಯಾರಿಗೋ ಒಬ್ಬರಿಗೆ ಪೇಷಂಟು 2 ವರ್ಷ ಆದ್ಮೇಲೆ ಕ್ಯಾನ್ಸರ್ ವಾಪಸ್ ಬಂದರೆ ಯಾಕಪ್ಪ ಬಂತು ಸರ್, ಟ್ರೀಟ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಕೊಡೋಕ್ಕಾಗಲಿಲ್ಲ, ಸ್ಕೀಮ್ ಕೊಡಲಿಲ್ಲ ಅವ್ರಿಗೆ. So the doctor knows what is the right thing, but scheme doesn't pay, she dies. Who is responsible? Government doesn't want to take any responsibility. We have to find a solution. We know there is sickness in the society.
Somebody has to be blamed for this high level of corruption. It's not the individuals, it's the society in which we are.
Your politicians ಜೊತೆ ಮಾತಾಡಿದ್ರೆ their simple answer is, ಏನು ಮಾಡೋದು ಡಾಕ್ಟ್ರೆ, I have to spend money on my election. We have to make money. Where will the money come? So that I can spend and win the election.
ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ಆನ್ಸರ್ ಇಲ್ಲ ಸ್ವಾಮಿ. When you know it's a crime, when you know you are not supposed to bribe, you still say I have to bribe. ಹಣ ಕೊಟ್ಟು ಗೆಲ್ದಿದ್ರೆ ವೋಟ್ ಹಾಕ್ರಿ.
So we don't have the right leaders.
The best and the brightest should be in politics. You may have all the great ideas, but who has the power to endorse those ideas and put it into action? It stops at the politician's desk.
ಇವತ್ತು ಜೈಲಿಗೆ ಹೋಗಿ ಜಾಮೀನು ತಗೊಂಡು ಬಂದಂತ ವ್ಯಕ್ತಿಗಳಿಗೆ ಹಾರ ಹಾಕಕ್ಕೆ ಜೈಲಿಗೆ ಹೋಗ್ತಾರೆ. ಪ್ರಾಮಾಣಿಕರ ಬಗ್ಗೆ ಮಾತಾಡಿದ್ರೆ ಬಿಡ್ರಿ, ಅವನು ಹುಚ್ಚ, ಅವನು ತಿನ್ನಲ್ಲ, ಇನ್ನೊಬ್ಬನಿಗೆ ತಿನ್ನಕ್ಕೆ ಬರೋಲ್ಲ ಅನ್ನೋ ಮಾತು ಸರ್ವಸಾಧಾರಣ.
ಅಮೆರಿಕಾದಲ್ಲಿ ಗೂಗಲ್, IBM, ಮೈಕ್ರೋಸಾಫ್ಟ್, ಪೆಪ್ಸಿ, ಅಡೋಬಿ ಎಲ್ಲ ನಾವು ಕಂಟ್ರೋಲ್ ಮಾಡಿ. ಇಂಥದ್ದು ಇರಬೇಕಾದ್ರೆ ವಾಟ್ ಹ್ಯಾಸ್ ಗಾನ್ ರಾಂಗ್? Why we are not able to step up?
We have a wage problem in our nation. I do the same work in US or UK. I'll get paid 5 times, 10 times, correct, 20 times.
Correct.
The distribution of power is the worst. See, in many of the things, the local committees and all, the MLAs do. Why should MLA be there? Elected representatives' only job is to go to the assembly or the parliament, participate in law making and decision policy making, go back home. For that they given full month salary.
Constitution ಎಲ್ಲ ಇದೆ, ಬಟ್ ಯಾರು ಫಾಲೋ ಮಾಡೋದಿಲ್ಲ. Accepting money is not wrong, bribing is not wrong, making money, ಈ 3 elements to break it is not easy.
We are as intelligent as the frog who is in that slow boiling water.
We have to have a biggest change should come from society.
Once people understand that there is power to their aspirations and right representation of those aspirations, they will send these outdated politicians home.
ನಮಸ್ಕಾರ. ಇವತ್ತು ನಮ್ಮ ಪಾಡ್ಕಾಸ್ಟ್ನಲ್ಲಿ ವಿ ಆರ್ ವೆರಿ ಇಂಪಾರ್ಟೆಂಟ್ ಪೀಪಲ್. ಜಸ್ಟಿಸ್ ಸಂತೋಷ್ ಹೆಗ್ಡೆ. Who doesn't know Justice Santosh Hegde?
Notorious.
He calls it notorious, but well known for anti-corruption crusader anbodu. He has really branded as a person who has stood against the wave, against everything, to really highlight what are the impact of corruption in the society. ಭ್ರಷ್ಟಾಚಾರದಿಂದ ಏನೇನು ಆಗುತ್ತೆ ಸೊಸೈಟಿ ಅನ್ನೋಕ್ಕೆ ಬಹಳ ಮಾಡಿದ್ದಾರೆ. ಲೋಕಾಯುಕ್ತ ಚೀಫ್ ಆದಾಗ ಅವರು ಜಸ್ಟಿಸ್ಗಿಂತ ಲೋಕಾಯುಕ್ತ ಚೀಫ್ ಆದಾಗ ಭಾಳ ಫೇಮಸ್ ಆಗಿದ್ದು, ವೇರ್ ಹಿ ರಿಯಲಿ ಡಿಡ್ ವಾಟ್ ಈಸ್ ರೈಟ್ ಫಾರ್ ದ ಪಬ್ಲಿಕ್, ಫಾರ್ ದ ನೇಷನ್, ವಿತ್ ಸಚ್ ಎ ಗ್ರೇಟ್ ಪ್ಯಾಷನ್. ಇಟ್ ಈಸ್ ಅಮೇಝಿಂಗ್ ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ವಿ ಆರ್ ವೆರಿ ಫಾರ್ಚುನೇಟ್ ಟು ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ಯು ಹಿಯರ್, ಜಸ್ಟಿಸ್. ಥ್ಯಾಂಕ್ಸ್ ಅ ಲಾಟ್ ಕಮಿಂಗ್. ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ಆಲ್ಸೋ ವಿ ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ಅನದರ್ ಪರ್ಸನ್, Professor Sridhar Pabishetty, who is also well known in his field, who has done a lot of work in public policy and amazing, involved in lot of developmental activities of Bangalore. Today is banned Velocity Bangalore member ಆಗಿದ್ದಾರೆ, and also 1 Billion Lives Education Foundation member ಆಗಿದ್ದಾರೆ. IIM ನಲ್ಲಿ ಇದ್ರು, ಎಲ್ಲ ಇದ್ರು. We are very happy to have you, Sridhar. And today we will focus on few things. ನಮಗೆ when those who are not in government, private ನಲ್ಲಿ, one of the things which concerns us is today we look at India with 1.4 billion population. Wherever we go, I lived in US for a long time. India is considered a country, poor country antare, third world antare. There are so many names. Per capita income is low. The important thing is why this has happened. Why, when I was recently in US and Germany, I still have a place in US, I look at the fantastic infrastructure, ಏನೇ ಇದ್ರೂ ಒಂದು ಹೆಮ್ಮೆ, ದೇ ಫೀಲ್ ಪ್ರೈಡ್. ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ದೆನ್ ಲೋ ಲೆವೆಲ್ನಲ್ಲಿ ಕರಪ್ಷನ್ ಇಲ್ಲ, ಹೈ ಲೆವೆಲ್ನಲ್ಲಿ ಇರ್ಬೋದು. ನೀವೇನೋ ಒಂದು ಮನೆ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು, ತೊಗೊಬೇಕು ರಿಜಿಸ್ಟ್ರೇಷನ್ಗೆ, ಅವರೇ ಮನೆಗೆ ಬಂದು ರಿಜಿಸ್ಟರ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೆ, ಏನೋ. ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ದೆನ್ ದೇ ಅಪ್ರಿಷಿಯೇಟ್ ವಾಟ್ ಯು ಆರ್ ಡೂಯಿಂಗ್. ಈ ಥರದಲ್ಲಿ ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ಕ್ಲೈನ್ಲಿನೆಸ್, ಎವ್ರಿಥಿಂಗ್. ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ಯು ಕ್ಯಾನ್ ಅಪ್ರೋಚ್ ಪಾಲಿಟಿಷಿಯನ್ಸ್, ರೈಟ್ ಎ ನೋಟ್ ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ಸೇ ದೇರ್ ಸಮಥಿಂಗ್ ರಾಂಗ್ ಮಾಡ್ಬೋದು. ಇವಾಗ ನಮ್ಮಲ್ಲಿ ಬ್ರಿಲಿಯನ್ಸ್ ಇದೆ. ವಿ ಆರ್ ಕಂಟ್ರೋಲ್. ಅಮೇರಿಕಾದಲ್ಲಿ ಗೂಗಲ್, IBM, ದಿಸ್ ಮೈಕ್ರೋಸಾಫ್ಟ್, ಪೆಪ್ಸಿ, ಅಡೋಬಿ ಎಲ್ಲ ನಾವು ಕಂಟ್ರೋಲ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀವಿ. ಆಲ್ ಆಫ್ ಇಟ್ ವಿ ಆರ್ ರನ್ ಬೈ ಅಸ್, ಸೇಮ್ ಪೀಪಲ್ ಇಮಿಗ್ರೇಟೆಡ್. ಅಂಥ ಬ್ರೈನ್ಸ್ ಇರಬೇಕು, ಕಾಲೇಜಸ್ಸು, ಪ್ರೊಫೆಸರ್ಸ್, ಹೆಲ್ತ್ ಕೇರ್ನಲ್ಲಿ ಬಿಗ್ ಇನ್ಸ್ಟಿಟ್ಯೂಷನ್ಸ್ ರನ್ನಿಂಗ್. ಇಂಥದ್ದು ಇರಬೇಕಾದ್ರೆ ವಾಟ್ ಹ್ಯಾಸ್ ಗಾನ್ ರಾಂಗ್? ವೈ ವಿ ಆರ್ ನಾಟ್ ಏಬಲ್ ಟು ಸ್ಟೆಪ್ ಅಪ್ and say our per capita income is only $2,500-3,000. You look at US, $100,000. You look at Germany, 150 some countries. Now yaake agilla? Yake? Why? What is one of the reasons the inbuilt corruption in the system? Is that causing the disparity in wealth also? Adr ಬಗ್ಗೆ Justice ನಿಮಗೆ ಫಸ್ಟ್ ಕೇಳ್ತೀನಿ. What is your view? And then we'll talk about later solutions.
ನನ್ನ ಅನಿಸಿಕೆಯಲ್ಲಿ ಇವತ್ತು somebody has to be blamed for this high level of corruption. It's not the individuals, it's the society in which we are. People always tend to grow along with the demands of the society rather than they themselves deciding what I should do or not, what I should not do. ಉದಾಹರಣೆಗೆ ಹೇಳ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೇನೆ, ನನಗೆ ಇವಾಗ 86 ವರ್ಷ ವಯಸ್ಸು. ನಾನು ಚಿಕ್ಕವನಾಗಿದ್ದಾಗ ನನ್ನ ಪೋಷಕರು ಹೇಳ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದರು, ತಪ್ಪು ಮಾಡಬೇಡ ಅಂತ. ತಪ್ಪು ಮಾಡಿದರೆ ನಮ್ಮ ಹೆಸರಿಗೆ ಗೌರವ ಹೋಗ್ತದೆ. ತಪ್ಪು ಮಾಡಬೇಡ, ಜನರ ಜೊತೆ ಮನುಷ್ಯನಾಗಿ ಉಳ್ಕೊ ಅಂತ ಬೇಕಾದಂಥ ಮೌಲ್ಯಗಳನ್ನು ನಮ್ಮಲ್ಲಿ ಹೇಳ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದರು. ಇವತ್ತು ಆ ಮನೆಯಲ್ಲಿ ವಿದ್ಯೆ ಅನ್ನೋದು ಇಲ್ಲ, ಮನೆಯೇ ಮೊದಲಿನ ಶಾಲೆ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ತಾ ಇದ್ರು. ಇವತ್ತು ಅಪ್ಪ ಮತ್ತು ಮಗನ ನಡುವೆ ಸಂಪರ್ಕ ವಾರಕ್ಕೆ 1 ಸಲನೋ 2 ಸಲನೋ ಇರ್ಬೋದು ಕಾಣಿಸ್ತದೆ. ಅವರಷ್ಟಕ್ಕೆ ಇದ್ದಾರೆ, ಇವರಷ್ಟಕ್ಕೆ ಇದ್ದಾರೆ. ಇದರಿಂದ ಜನರಲ್ಲಿ ಮೌಲ್ಯಗಳ ಇದು ಕಮ್ಮಿ ಆಗಿದೆ. ಅದು ಒಂದು ದೊಡ್ಡ ಪರಿಸ್ಥಿತಿ. ಇದು ಹೇಗೆ ಇತ್ತು ಆವತ್ತಿನ ಕಾಲದಲ್ಲಿ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳೋಕ್ಕೆ ಒಂದು ಉದಾಹರಣೆ ಕೊಡ್ತೇನೆ. ನನ್ನ ಪಕ್ಕದ ಮನೆಯವರು ಯಾರಾದರೂ ತಪ್ಪು ಮಾಡಿಬಿಟ್ಟು ಜೈಲಿಗೆ ಹೋದರೆ ಅವ್ರು ವಾಪಸ್ ಬಂದಾಗ ನನ್ನ ಮನೆಯವರು ಹೇಳ್ತಾಯಿದ್ರು, ಆ ಮನೆ ಹತ್ತಿರ ಹೋಗಬೇಡ ಅಂತ. ಅವರನ್ನು ನಮ್ಮ ಮನೆ ಹತ್ರ ಬರೋಕ್ಕೆ ಬಿಡ್ತಾ ಇರಲಿಲ್ಲ. ಸಂಪರ್ಕ ಕಮ್ಮಿ ಇತ್ತು ಸಮಾಜದಲ್ಲಿ. ಇವತ್ತು ಹಾಗಲ್ಲ. ಇವತ್ತಿನ ಸಮಾಜ ಶ್ರೀಮಂತಿಕೆಗೆ ಮಾತ್ರ ಗೌರವ ಕೊಡ್ತದೆ, ಪ್ರಾಮಾಣಿಕರಿಗೆ ಯಾವ ಬೆಲೆಯೇನಿಲ್ಲ. ಪ್ರಾಮಾಣಿಕರ ಬಗ್ಗೆ ಮಾತಾಡಿದರೆ ಬಿಡ್ರಿ, ಅವನು ಮುಚ್ಚ, ಅವನು ತಿನ್ನಲ್ಲ, ಇನ್ನೊಬ್ಬನಿಗೂ ತಿನ್ನಕ್ಕೆ ಬಿಡಲ್ಲ ಅನ್ನೋ ಮಾತು ಸರ್ವಸಾಧಾರಣವಾದ,
ಭಾಳ ಸತ್ಯ, ವೆರಿ ವೆರಿ ಟ್ರೂ.
ಈ ಬಹಿಷ್ಕಾರ ಅನ್ನೋದು ಭಾಳ ದೊಡ್ಡ ಶಿಕ್ಷೆ. ಅದು ನನ್ನ ಅನಿಸಿಕೆಯಲ್ಲಿ ಗಲ್ಲು ಶಿಕ್ಷೆಗಿಂತಲೂ ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ಹೆದರಿಕೆ ಇತ್ತು. ಇವತ್ತಿಲ್ಲ. ಇವತ್ತು ಜೈಲಿಗೆ ಹೋಗಿ ಜಾಮೀನು ತಗೊಂಡು ಬಂದಂಥ ವ್ಯಕ್ತಿಗಳಿಗೆ ಹಾರ ಹಾಕೋಕ್ಕೆ ಜೈಲಿಗೆ ಹೋಗ್ತಾರೆ, ಅವ್ರನ್ನ ಕರ್ಕೊಂಡು ಬರೋಕ್ಕೆ, ಇಲ್ಲಾಂದರೆ ಏರ್ಪೋರ್ಟಿಗೆ ಹೋಗ್ತಾರೆ ಕರ್ಕೊಂಡು ಬರೋಕ್ಕೆ. ಅವ್ರು ಚುನಾವಣೆಗೆ ಗೆಲ್ತಾರೆ ಮತ್ತು ಅದರಲ್ಲಿ ದೊಡ್ಡ ದೊಡ್ಡ ಹುದ್ದೆಗೆ ಹೋಗ್ತಾರೆ. ಇದರಿಂದಾಗಿ ಪಕ್ಕದ ಮನೆಯವನಿಗೂ ಈ ಆಸೆ ಶುರುವಾಗಿದೆ. ಅವನಿಷ್ಟು ದೊಡ್ಡವನಾದ, ಅವನಿಗೆ ಇಷ್ಟೊಂದು ಹಣ ಬಂದಿದೆ ಅವನ ಹತ್ರ, ನಾನು ಪ್ರಾಮಾಣಿಕನಾಗಿದ್ದೇನೆ, ಅದು ನನಗೇನು ಬೆಲೆಯೇ ಇಲ್ಲ. ಪ್ರಾಮಾಣಿಕರ ಬಗ್ಗೆ ಮಾತಾಡಿದ್ರೆ ಬಿಡ್ರಿ, ಅವನು ಹುಚ್ಚ, ಅವನು ತಿನ್ನಲ್ಲ, ಇನ್ನೊಬ್ಬನಿಗೂ ತಿನ್ನಕ್ಕೆ ಬಿಡಲ್ಲ ಅನ್ನೋ ಮಾತು ಸರ್ವಸಾಧಾರಣವಾದದ್ದು. ಆದ್ದರಿಂದ ನನ್ನ ಅನಿಸಿಕೆಯಲ್ಲಿ ಸಮಾಜದ ಭಾವನೆಯನ್ನು ನಾವು ಬದಲಾಯಿಸುವಂತಹ ಪ್ರಯತ್ನ ಮಾಡಿದರೆ, ಪ್ರಾಮಾಣಿಕರಿಗೆ ಒಂದು ರೀತಿಯಲ್ಲಿ ಸಮಾಜದಲ್ಲಿ ಗೌರವ ಇದ್ದರೆ, ಮಕ್ಕಳಿಗೆ ಚಿಕ್ಕ ವಯಸ್ಸಲ್ಲೇ ಮೌಲ್ಯಗಳನ್ನು ಕಲಿಸುವಂಥ ಒಂದು ಪಾಠ ಮನೆಯಲ್ಲಿ ಪೋಷಕರು ಮಾಡಿದರೆ, ಅದೇ ರೀತಿ ಹಿಂದೆ ಇದ್ದಂಥ ಪ್ರೊಸೀಜರ್ ಶಾಲೆಯಲ್ಲಿ ನೀತಿ ಪಾಠ ಅಂತ ಇತ್ತು, ಮಾರಲ್ ಸೈನ್ಸ್ ಅಂತ, ಅದು ಇದ್ದರೆ ಎಷ್ಟು ಇಂಪ್ರೂವ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಆಗ್ತದೆ ಗೊತ್ತಿಲ್ಲ. ಆದರೆ ಪ್ರಯತ್ನ ಮಾಡೋದಿದ್ರೆ ಈ ದಾರಿಯಲ್ಲಿ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು.
ತಾವು ಚೆಂದದಂತ ಮಾತಾಡಿದ್ರಿ, ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಗೋಲ್ಡನ್ ವರ್ಡ್ಸ್. ಶ್ರೀಧರ್ ಅವರೇ, ಇವಾಗ ಈ ವಿಚಾರದಲ್ಲಿ ಸೇಮ್ ಕ್ವಶನ್. ನಾವು ಯು ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ಟ್ರಾವೆಲ್ಡ್ ಆಲ್ ಓವರ್ ದ ವರ್ಲ್ಡ್, ವಿ ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ಸೀನ್ ವೈ ಆರ್ ವಿ ವಾಟ್ ಈಸ್ ದ ಫಂಡಮೆಂಟಲ್ ಪ್ರಾಬ್ಲಮ್? ಈ ಭ್ರಷ್ಟಾಚಾರ ಅನ್ನೋದು ಈಸ್ ಇಟ್ ಪ್ಲೇಯಿಂಗ್ ಎ ರೋಲ್? in us not becoming what we can really be. ಆಮೇಲೆ ವಿಲ್ ಕಮ್ ಟು ಡಿಸ್ಕಸ್ ಜಸ್ಟಿಸ್ ಅವರು ಹೌ ಕರಪ್ಷನ್ ಎವಾಲ್ಡ್ ಇನ್ ಇಂಡಿಯಾ ಅಂತ ವಿ ಆಲ್ಸೋ ಶುಡ್ ಡಿಸ್ಕಸ್. ನಿಮ್ದಾದ್ಮೇಲೆ ಯಾಕೆ ಮಾತಾಡಿ.
ಓಕೆ, ಲೆಟ್ ಮಿ ಸ್ಟಾರ್ಟ್ ವಿತ್ ಗ್ಲೋಬಲ್ ಎಕ್ಸಾಂಪಲ್. 2005 ನನಗೊಂದು ಅವಕಾಶ ಸಿಕ್ತು IIM ನಾನು MBA ಮಾಡಲಿಕ್ಕೆ. ಆಗ ಎಕ್ಸ್ಚೇಂಜ್ ಪ್ರೋಗ್ರಾಮ್ ಅವಕಾಶ ಸಿಕ್ತು. ನನಗೆ ಆಗ ಡೆವಲಪ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಎಕಾನಮಿಕ್ಸ್ ಬಗ್ಗೆ ತುಂಬ ಆಸೆ ಇತ್ತು. ಯಾಕೆಂದರೆ ಅಷ್ಟರಲ್ಲೇ ನಾನು US ಎಲ್ಲ ಓಡಾಡಿದ್ದೆ. I had already started working in the IT sector, so adinda I had travelled in the US. So I chose to go to Stockholm School of Economics. This is also the place where the economic thought is propounded much further. Al hodaga, when I looked around, it's about the systems that run the city and the state and the nation. ಒಂದು ಉದಾಹರಣೆ ಕೊಡ್ತೀನಿ. ನಾನು 4.5 ತಿಂಗಳಿದ್ದೆ ಅಲ್ಲಿ. ಮುಗಿಸ್ಕೊಂಡು ವಾಪಸ್ ಬರಬೇಕಾದ್ರೆ ಟ್ಯಾಕ್ಸಿ ಹಾಕಿ ಬಸ್ಸಲ್ಲಿ ಹೋಗೋಣ, ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಏರ್ಪೋರ್ಟ್ಗೆ ಬಸ್ ಇದೆ, ಬಸ್ ಹತ್ತು ಹೋಗೋಣ ಅಂತ ನಾನು ಬಸ್ ಸ್ಟಾಪಿಗೆ ಬಂದೆ. ಅವತ್ತು ಬಸ್ ಬರಲಿಲ್ಲ. 2007 2007 ಇಯರ್. ನಾನು ಮತ್ತೆ ಟ್ಯಾಕ್ಸಿ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಂಡು ಬಂದೆ. ಬರಬೇಕಾದ್ರೆ ಐ ವಾಸ್ ಒನ್ ಆಫ್ ದಿ ಅರ್ಲಿಯೆಸ್ಟ್ ಯೂಸರ್ಸ್ ಟು ಫೇಸ್ಬುಕ್. ಯಾಕೆಂದರೆ ಯೂನಿವರ್ಸಿಟಿಯಿಂದ ಫೇಸ್ಬುಕ್ ಕೊಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದಿದ್ದಾಗ ನಾನು ಈ ಥರ ಬರೆದೆ, ಅಯ್ಯೋ ನೋಡಿ ಇಷ್ಟು ಚೆನ್ನಾಗಿತ್ತು ಸಿಸ್ಟಮು, ಇಷ್ಟು ದಿನ ವೆರಿ ರಿಲಯಬಲ್ ಆಗಿತ್ತು, ಇವತ್ತು ಯಾಕೋ ಬಸ್ ಬರಲಿಲ್ಲ ಅಂತ. ಆಗ ಇಮಿಡಿಯೇಟ್ಲಿ ಇನ್ನೊಬ್ಬ ಎಕ್ಸ್ಚೇಂಜ್ ಸ್ಟೂಡೆಂಟ್ ಸಿಂಗಾಪುರಿಂದ ಬಂದಿದ್ದ, ಒಳ್ಳೆ ಪರಿಚಯ ಆಗಿತ್ತು. ಅವ್ನು ನಂಗೆ ಮೆಸೇಜ್ ಮಾಡ್ದ, ಶ್ರೀಧರ್ ನಿನ್ನ ಹತ್ರ ಅದ್ರ ಬಿಲ್ ಇದ್ದರೆ ಈ ವೆಬ್ಸೈಟ್ಗೆ ಹೋಗ್ಬಿಟ್ಟು ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಅದನ್ನು ಅಪ್ಲೋಡ್ ಮಾಡು, ನಿಂಗೆ ದುಡ್ಡು ಕೊಡ್ತಾರೆ ಅಂತ, ಟ್ಯಾಕ್ಸಿ ಬಿಲ್ ರೀಇಂಬರ್ಸ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೆ ಅಂತ. ಐ ವಾಸ್ ಶಾಕ್ ಫಾರ್ ಎ ಮೂಮೆಂಟ್ ಬಿಕಾಸ್ ದಟ್ ಈಸ್ ವೇರ್ ಮೈ 2 ರಿಯಾಲಿಟೀಸ್ ಮೆಟ್. ಎ ರಿಯಾಲಿಟಿ ವೇರ್ ಬೆಂಗಳೂರಲ್ಲಿ ನನಗೆ ಅದೇ ಬಸ್ ಮಿಸ್ ಆಗಿದ್ದರೆ, ಆ ಬಸ್ ಬರಲಿಲ್ಲ ಅಂತ ಎಸ್ಟಾಬ್ಲಿಷ್ ಮಾಡೋಕ್ಕೆ ಒಂದು ಕೋರ್ಟಲ್ಲಿ ನಾನೊಂದು 5-10 ವರ್ಷ ಕಳಿಬೇಕಾಗಿತ್ತು, ರೈಟ್? ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ಕಾಂಪನ್ಸೇಷನ್ ಕೊಡಬೇಕಾ ಬೇಡವಾ ಅಂತ ಇನ್ನೊಂದು 5-10 ವರ್ಷ ಕಳಿಬೇಕಾಗಿತ್ತು. ಬಟ್ ಹಿಯರ್ ಇಸ್ ಎ ಕಂಟ್ರಿ ವಿಚ್ ಸೇಸ್ ಐ ಗಿವ್ ಯು ಎ ಗ್ಯಾರಂಟಿ ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ಇಫ್ ಐ ಫೇಲ್ ಟು ಪರ್ಫಾರ್ಮ್ ದಟ್ ಗ್ಯಾರಂಟಿ ಐ ವಿಲ್ ಮೇಕ್ ಶೂರ್ ದಟ್ ಐ ವಿಲ್ ರೀಇಂಬರ್ಸ್ ದಿ ಇನ್ಕನ್ವೀನಿಯನ್ಸ್ ಫಾರ್ ಯು ಅಂತ. ದೆನ್ ಐ ರಿಯಲೈಸ್ಡ್ ದ ಬಿಗ್ಗೆಸ್ಟ್, ಆ ಟೈಮಲ್ಲಿ I had already worked for about 7 years. I was doing some amazing cutting edge software development for across the world. I said, what could be a better way to put my future into the country was to change the way we govern ourselves. It is about all these little things. Every institution, see what is it there for. Can we make it serve that ambition better, right? I think that has been the transformative outlook with which I look at institutions in India today. Thankfully, we have some structure that is reasonably good in India, but that structure has not been geared up to serve the purpose that it claims.
Constitution ಎಲ್ಲ ಇದೆ, ಬಟ್ ಯಾರು ಫಾಲೋ ಮಾಡೋದಿಲ್ಲ,
right?
And they get away with it.
Exactly.
So in your view, the reason we are not advanced is, what is one reason?
I agree with Justice Santosh Hegde. I don't think there's a better way to say it. What is our collective aspiration? If our collective aspiration is not coming through clearer, if we give confused signals of to somebody who wants to be a leader tomorrow, that if you come in a Rolls Royce, you will get elected. In 2013, 2012 December, I met Dr. Jaiprakash Narayan, the Andhra bureaucrat who started
Lok Satta,
right? So so somebody who knew both of us said, you both should talk. So Dr. JP was here to give a talk, and I drew back to the airport along with him, and we were chatting through the course. Dr. JP said, Sridhar, the best and the brightest should be in politics. And I was taken aback a little, because we all think that we are intellectual, we have a certain mental model and through which we want to bring transformation. But that was the second great learning for me, telling that you may have all the great ideas, but who has the power to endorse those ideas and put it into action? It stops at the politician's desk.
Now let us take a step back. And Justice Sorge, we come through the era of Hanumantaya, Karnataka ವಿಚಾರ ಮಾಡಿರ್ತಾ, ನಿಜಲಿಂಗಪ್ಪ, ವೀರೇಂದ್ರ, ಆನೆಸ್ಟ್. ಆವಾಗ ಬೆಸ್ಟ್ ಆಫ್ ಮೈ ನಾಲೆಜ್ ಬ್ರೈಬರಿ ಅನ್ನೋದಷ್ಟು ಇರಲಿಲ್ಲ, ಮೋರ್ ಆನೆಸ್ಟ್. We looked upon politicians as selfless. Who transformed this, and what transformed it? Is it Indira Gandhi time, or is it some chief minister in Karnataka? what transformed to give legitimacy to corruption to some? Ali tanka, corruption andre we would say ಏನಪ್ಪ, we would be aghast. But suddenly things became acceptable to society. ನೀವು ತಾವು ಹೇಳ್ದಂಗೆ ಪಕ್ಕದ ಮನೆ ಕರಪ್ಷನ್ ದುಡ್ಡು ಮಾಡಿ ನಾನು ಯಾಕೆ ಮಾಡಬಾರ್ದು? When did this happen? Then we can come to solution. When did this happen in your view?
In my opinion, the population goes by the behavior and actions of neighbors, others whom we normally in contact with and this thing. So this corruption is very, very contagious, according to me.
Contagious.
Yeah. That's why if X becomes corrupt, he will, if he has contact with Y, he will convert Y also to be in the field and all the thing. So
Even an honest person becomes.
yes, an honest person also become with it. Till about 56, that state's reorganization took place here and all. Then Mysore government was considered to be reasonably honest and all. Everything, as compared to other states which had more development. As the development goes up, corruption goes up, because a part of the money in the transaction is taken by the people who are public service. Let me use a general terminology. So that's how it went off. Do you remember in 56, 57, Vidhan Saudha was being built? There was allegation that there was corruption.
ಹನುಮಂತ 3 ಕೋಟಿ ಏನೋ ಅದು.
ಆವಾಗ 3 ಕೋಟಿ ಅಂದರೆ ಇವತ್ತು 300 ಕೋಟಿ. But anyway, it started. The moment an opportunity came, he copied somebody else. See, that's how it started. But today, one of the main thing is the government has got too much power in every action of the government.
See, idralle I want to ask you a question. You think government role should be reorganized?
I think so.
Okay.
I think so.
He's
Most of the areas where they have control, I don't think it requires such control.
Very important point.
Yeah. So, government control over it should be controlled.
ಆದರೆ ಒಬ್ಬರು IAS ಆಫೀಸರ್ ಅಂದರು, ಡಾಕ್ಟರ್, why would we give up our power ಅಂದರು. How do we take power?
He is correct. In the sense he has to pay for coming there. He is trying to justify his payment.
Yes.
Yeah. But then he doesn't realize that every act of his is connected, because he has to pay the minister. Minister may have to pay the party. There's a chain of events where people are involved. But because of that, some of them are by force become.
So, if we have to rewrite the things, government is Henry David Thoreau in saying government is the best which doesn't govern at all, or Emerson who says government is the best which governs the least? Which do you support? Or government should really heavily be involved?
No, according to me, government should control the laws that is made by the legislature, but to a limited extent only. The extent which is not necessary should be removed. Now, very often when you have to go for a driving license, you give the license to this thing, then without payment you won't get your license immediately. You got to go to
unless you know somebody. Unless you know.
And they say the file is with so and so, with so and so and all. We got to draw this thing that a government servant, when renewal applications comes, within 15 minutes or half an hour.
So you think because government is so heavily involved, it kind of gives rise to more corruption?
Correct. More right, I wouldn't say the right and all. That's the wrong word. More wrongs I can say instead of rights and all.
Okay.
No, government gives opportunity for them, to the people to come back again for some.
So corruption. Breeds corruption.
Yeah. So this is a small stage of corruption, I'm saying. That's one major. Let me go to the major part of it and all.
Yes.
The contracts. It's a well-known this thing, and the percentage of it goes to X, Y, Z in the government service, different stages with the thing. Ultimately, when the product thing is ready, then the cost of the product will be, or the efforts will be much, much more than it's the normal cost, because it has to be shared by.
Justice Avare, when for a common man, is that correct to assume a government road building, if I have to pay 40-50%, how can the road be normal? Because he is
it can't be, because what he gets is nothing compared to what he has to pay.
Yes. And people then they cannot expect a good road.
No, please look at the consequences when we say there is a commission involved in the payment, which is not the government money.
Yes.
It's not the government demand, but every contract there is a requirement over and above the government money.
Yes.
Right? I'm giving it to you. Otherwise, I'll give it to him. He'll give me more. So this has become a standard now in governmental actions. Wherever money is involved, then you have to give a share to.
Yeah, Nangene, Money Government of India in some retired health commissioner, I think he called me, he just retired. Government has authorized him to give 400 crores to a private hospital to build a big cancer center. I was in US, ಏನು ನೋಡೋಣ ನಮ್ಮ CEO ಮಾತಾಡಲಿ ಅಂದೆ. ಆಮೇಲೆ then the CEO called me back and we should look into this sir, we can. Then as soon as I came, I video call arrange ಮಾಡಿದ್ರು. ಅವರು ಕೇಳಿದೆ, you didn't tell your CEO? I said, no, he didn't tell me. See, we are expecting 200 crores back. I said, who is we? We don't do any such thing. No, you over invoice. You do everything. I said, we don't get involved in that. Sorry, we are not of that. It is shocking. Openly on the video he is saying.
Exactly, they are not bothered about your videographing, the demand and other things. They'll prepare another video per contract. Or there are professionals who are make videos for you also. So they are not bothered about it. Apart from that, there will be communication between him and his superior. Innu bandillalla anta. It is a known fact and accepted by the society. Avrigu kodbeku, ಇವರಿಗೆ ಕೊಡಬೇಕು, ನನಗೆ ಎಷ್ಟು ಬರ್ತದೆ.
So
ನನಗೆ ತಗೊಳ್ಳೋದ್ರಲ್ಲಿ ನಾಚಿಕೆ ಇಲ್ಲ, ಅವರಿಗೆ ಕೊಡೋದ್ರಲ್ಲೂ ನಾಚಿಕೆ ಇಲ್ಲ.
So government role, Sarkara role should be redefined.
According to me also, the protection given to the government servants of sanction should be removed totally. That will be easy for the people to prosecute with the thing and all. Then the prosecution of the corrupt people should be allowed to any person who has knowledge of it, rather than how are you connected, and the question of jurisdiction should not be raised and everything. Then it will create some sort of a fear complex in the thing.
So it's a good idea to create a fear complex.
I think so. It's fear complex of legal, legitimate conviction.
But do you agree with that, and what do you think is the way forward, how this corruption has evolved? Do you agree that what is the role of government should be? Nimge ಏನು ಅನ್ಸುತ್ತೆ?
Yeah, I think just taking extension of what you said, of options of the kind of government to choose. I remember about a decade ago, I've been reading about a lot of these forms of governments that function better, etc. The most impactful one that sticks with me is that government should be in the business of steering the boat, not rowing the boat.
Should be a monitor.
Should be a monitor, because there is aspirations of people which can rightfully get expressed through the democratic process, but the government should take the role of setting the standards and then allowing people who are good at implementing. Namge road kattake baralla andre baralla. Right? We know Bangalore is a shining example to understand where we can imagine the new government.
Yeah.
There is excellence till the tech parks of the country are there. ಒಳಗಡೆ ತುಂಬ ಚೆನ್ನಾಗಿರುತ್ತೆ. The water is good, the air is good,
Beautiful.
the mobility is good. ನೀವು
ಆಚೆ
ಬಂದಿದ ತಕ್ಷಣ you see the reality.
ಗಾರ್ಬೇಜ್ ಇರುತ್ತೆ, ರೋಡ್
ಎಲ್ಲ
ಟ್ರಾಫಿಕ್ ಎಲ್ಲ ಇರುತ್ತೆ.
Correct, right? So now let's understand where we are going.
You are an excellent point.
Right? So let's now say, can we embrace better standards for all? Because ಯಾರೇ ಕೆಲಸಕ್ಕೆ ಹೋದರೂ 10-12 ಗಂಟೆ ಹೋಗ್ತಾರೆ. ಅದಾದಮೇಲೆ ಮನೆಗೆ ಬಂದಿರಬೇಕು ತಾನೆ. They have to go through the same traffic, the same bad quality. I'll give you comparative examples. ವಿನ್ಸ್ಟನ್ ಚರ್ಚಿಲ್ದು ಒಂದು ಎಪಿಸೋಡ್ ಬರುತ್ತೆ ಕ್ರೌನ್ ಅನ್ನೋ ಸೀರೀಸಲ್ಲಿ. ಅದರಲ್ಲಿ ತೋರಿಸ್ತಾರೆ ದಟ್ his secretary gets run over by a bus because of severe air pollution. Right? London had air pollution. They cleaned it up. New York had air pollution. They brought in the Environment Protection Act.
Correct.
Right? And then the polluter pays principle got established. Now, we look at Delhi, right? And Delhi, the statistics every year that keep coming is about saying, ಎಷ್ಟು ಸಿಗರೇಟ್ ನೀವು ಫ್ರೀಯಾಗಿ ಕುಡಿತಾ
Air inequality is one of the worst.
Right? So, now the question to ask is, how many more years and decades will we take to set right the city of Delhi? Will we be 10 times slower than New York or 100 times slower than London? So until unless we start asking these questions of saying that where do we want to steer the direction of the government. We will send government paid water spraying trucks that will spray water around where the air quality monitor is installed. Ashte, right? Why you just want to look good in the international media telling that at least I area people be damned, right? So that is the fundamental change that we have to embrace. Any leaders, any statesmen, any future thinking leader should embrace this duality.
ಸೊ ಇವಾಗ ಜಸ್ಟಿಸ್ ಸರ್, ಇವಾಗ ವಿ ಸೇ ದ ಗೌರ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಇದು ಯಾರೂ ಪವರ್ ಬಿಟ್ಕೊಡೋದಿಲ್ಲ. ಸೊ ದೇರ್ ಎ ಲಾಟ್ ಆಫ್ ಪೀಪಲ್ ವೆನ್ ವಿ ಡಿಸ್ಕಸ್, ಯು ಗೆಟ್ ವಾಟ್ ಯು ಡಿಸರ್ವ್ ಅಂತ. ವಿ ಎಲೆಕ್ಟ್ ಪಾಲಿಟಿಷಿಯನ್ಸ್, ಸೊ ವಿ ಗೆಟ್ ವಾಟ್ ವಿ ಡಿಸರ್ವ್. ವೆನ್ ಇಟ್ ಇಸ್ ಕರಪ್ಷನ್, you get what you deserve because you elect these people. So what is the solution? Is it the next generation the solution, or is it rectifiable this generation itself, or should we give up hope, and or individually we can keep fighting? But as long as people don't come together, they see, because everybody is now self-centered and selfish. You Ayn Rand theory ತರ objectivism, everybody is about themselves arbitrary. How can the nation, because there is no thing, what can I do annadilla, how can I make more money, ತಾವು ಹೇಳ್ದಂಗೆ, if that is the approach of the society wherever, ನಾನು ಹೆಂಗೆ ದುಡ್ಡು ಮಾಡ್ಬೋದು, ನಾನು ಹೆಂಗೆ ಇನ್ನೊಬ್ರು ಮೋಸ ಮಾಡ್ಬೋದು, ಇನ್ನೊಬ್ರು ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದಾನೆ, ಈ ಥರ ಮಾಡಿದ್ರೆ ನಮ್ಮ ಮಕ್ಕಳು ಅದೇ ರೀತಿ ಬೆಳೀತಾರೆ. ಅದೇ ನೆಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ ಜನರೇಷನ್ ವಿಲ್ ಆಲ್ಸೋ ಫಾಲೋ. ಮನಿ ಬಿಕಮ್ಸ್ ದ ಪ್ರೈಮರಿ ಫೋಕಸ್. ಅದು ಅಲ್ಲದೆ ಬಿಲಿಯನೇರ್ಸ್ ಅಂತ ಇಂಡಿಯಾದಲ್ಲಿ ನೋಡ್ತೀವಿ. ಬಿಲಿಯನೇರ್ಸ್ ಇದ್ದಾರೆ, ಇದೆಷ್ಟು ಖರ್ಚು ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೆ, ಇದರಲ್ಲಿ ಪ್ರೈವೇಟ್ ಪ್ಲೇನ್ಸ್ನಲ್ಲಿ ಹೋಗ್ತಾರೆ, ಒಂದು ಮದುವೆಗೇ ಕೋಟ್ಯಾಂತರ ಸಾವಿರಾರು ಕೋಟಿನೇ ಖರ್ಚು ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೆ. ಒಬ್ಬ ಬಡವಂಗೆ ನೋಡಿದ್ರೆ ಅವನಿಗೆ ಏನು ಅನಿಸುತ್ತೆ, ನಾನು ಯಾಕಪ್ಪ ಸಿ, ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ದೇರ್ ಇಸ್ ನೋ ವಾಟ್ ಈಸ್ ಅ ಸೊಲ್ಯೂಷನ್ ಫಾರ್ ಇಟ್. ನಾನು ರೂರಲ್ ಏರಿಯಾದಲ್ಲಿ ವರ್ಕ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀನಿ. ಇವಾಗ ನಾನು ಕೆಲವು ವುಮೆನ್ಗೆ ಲೋನ್ಸ್ ಇದು ಮಾಡಿದ್ವಿ, 60% ಲೋನ್ ಕೊಡ್ತಾರೆ, 5% ಮಂತ್. ಅವ್ರಿಗೆ ನಾನು ಎಕ್ಸ್ಪೆರಿಮೆಂಟಾಗಿ, ಐ ಕಾಲ್ ಇಟ್ ಕ್ಯಾಪೋ ಆಲ್ಟ್ರಿಸಮ್, ಅವ್ರಿಗೆ ಐ ಕ್ಲಿಯರ್ಡ್ ದೇರ್ ಲೋನ್ ಅಟ್ ನೋ ಇಂಟ್ರೆಸ್ಟ್, ಜಸ್ಟ್ ಪರ್ಪಸ್ಲಿ ಟು ಸಿ ಹೌ ದೇ ಬಿಹೇವ್. ಆಮೇಲೆ ಮೀಟಿಂಗ್ ಮಾಡಿದಾಗ ನಮ್ಮ ಮನಸ್ಸಿದೆ ಹೊಟ್ಟೋಯ್ತು, ಯಾರು ಬಂದು ಬಾಗಿಲು ತರ್ತಾ ಇಲ್ಲ, ನಮಗೆ ದುಡ್ಡು ಕೊಡು ಅಂತ ಕೇಳ್ತಾ ಇಲ್ಲ. ನೋಬಡಿ ಈಸ್ ಅಡ್ರೆಸ್ಸಿಂಗ್ ದೀಸ್ ಇಶ್ಯೂಸ್. ವೆನ್ ಐ ಟುಕ್ ಎ ವೋಟ್ ಆಫ್ 4,000 ವುಮೆನ್, 70% said they are borrowing at 60-70%, ಕೈ ಎತ್ತದು, ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ದೇ ಬಿಕಮ್ ಎಟರ್ನಲ್ ಸ್ಲೇವ್ಸ್. ಈ ಥರ ಇರಬೇಕಾದ್ರೆ ಬೇರೆ ಒಂದು ದುಡ್ಡು ಮಾಡೋದು ನೋಡಿದ್ರೆ ಅವ್ರಿಗೂ ಆಸೆ ಬರುತ್ತೆ. ಅವ್ರ ಮಕ್ಳಿಗೆ ಯಾಕಪ್ಪ ನಮ್ಮ ತಂದೆ ತಾಯಿ ಇಷ್ಟು ತೊಂದರೆ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದಾರೆ, ನಾವು ಹೋಗಿ ಮಾಡೋಣ, ಹೆಂಗಾರು ದುಡ್ಡು ಮಾಡೋಣ ಅನ್ಸುತ್ತೆ. ಸಿ, ದಿಸ್ ಬಿಕಮ್ಸ್ ಎ ವಿಷಸ್ ಸೈಕಲ್. ಸೊ ರೈಟ್ ಪೀಪಲ್ ಎಲೆಕ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕಾದ್ರೆ ವಾಟ್ ಈಸ್ ದ ಸೊಲ್ಯೂಷನ್ ಫಾರ್ ದಿಸ್? ವಿ ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ಟು ಫೈಂಡ್ ಎ ಸೊಲ್ಯೂಷನ್. ವಿ ನೋ ದೇರ್ ಈಸ್ ಸಿಕ್ನೆಸ್ ಇನ್ ದ ಸೊಸೈಟಿ. ಐ ಡೋಂಟ್ ವಾಂಟ್ ಟು ಕಾಲ್ ಇಟ್ ಕ್ಯಾನ್ಸರ್ ಬಿಕಾಸ್ ಐ ಆಮ್ ಎ ಕ್ಯಾನ್ಸರ್ ಎಕ್ಸ್ಪರ್ಟ್. ಕ್ಯಾನ್ಸರ್ನ ನಾವು ಟ್ರೀಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೀವಿ, ಕ್ಯಾನ್ಸರ್ ಪೀಪಲ್ ಆರ್ ಡೂಯಿಂಗ್ ಗುಡ್, ಈವನ್ ಹಾಸ್ಪಿಟಲ್ಸ್ ಕೇರ್ ಎಲ್ಲ ತೆಗೆದುಬಿಟ್ಟಿದ್ದೀವಿ ಈಗ, ಬಿಕಾಸ್ ನೌ ಕ್ಯಾನ್ಸರ್ ಇಸ್ ಇಂಪ್ರೂವ್ಡ್. ಅದೇ ಥರ ಇದನ್ನು ಹೆಂಗೆ ಇಂಪ್ರೂವ್ ಮಾಡೋದು? ವಿ ನೀಡ್ ಟು ಕಮ್ ಅಪ್ ವಿತ್ ಎ ಸೊಲ್ಯೂಷನ್.
My reasoning is today, one particular contract has to be completed. There will be half a dozen benches before it has to go. This is one of the reasons whereby a government officer can compel you to pay.
Correct.
Because the delay is affecting them and everything. Therefore, government should give the authority of granting a license or no license to a particular this thing, authority only, not more than one authority, because it becomes delayed unnecessary. This is a temptation that goes through it and all. Now, apart from that, now let me go one step behind, that we must try, it will take time, but let's not lose hopes on that and all, to create the society which is against corruption with it. So that is very important, so it should start from there. Then come to the power distribution in the assembly, I mean the government and all. Unnecessarily to create posts, for the purpose of this thing, government will sanction money for the posts and all and create. Now when the post is filled up, there is payment also to get the job, and so it starts there. At home, you learn how to be rich and all. Then you go to a particular job which receives a lot of corrupt product and all. Like that, if you start stage by stage to stop the number of this thing and all, then I think it will stop to a while. Otherwise, what happens when the man makes his offer for the tender, he has to pay. So from there, he has to pay to the person who gives you the tender documents. Then when you go and ask for any permission to use your vehicles or others, for that you have to pay. So one contract pays so many tables that by the time the money that was proposed by the government for the contract will get doubled. And it becomes a normal thing. It's nothing wrong. Openly they'll talk to you, hey, innu kottillalri, nim papers baralla, ಅವ್ರ ಹತ್ರ ಇದೆ. So the excuses are many when it comes. But in every stage to stage it's become, because he has taken it, why not I should not take it? So one is the neighboring man's behavior which affects you. The government's extension of powers or distribution of power should be reduced totally. No decision should be taken more than 1 or 2 tables and others. This things which is purely psychological in the thing. That should be stopped. Prevention is better than cure, they say. So I think, if you start with the application, this thing that the parents should teach first and all, then you go to the school, you must learn in the school and all. When that gets into the system, definitely this will help. The distribution of power is the worst. You see, in many of the things, the local committees and all, the MLAs, why should MLA be there? Constitution doesn't provide for it. Constitution in the distribution of this thing, it is gone to the executive to do that. And MLA, elected representative's only job is to go to the assembly or the parliament, participate in law making and decision policy making, go back home. For that they are given full month's salary. Though the sitting may be 10 days in a month or less than that, they are paid for 30 days in the thing and all. So that's all. But today what? They are not only MLAs, they are chairmen of the committees and everything. So one more stage has come where
there's a flaw in the system.
Yeah. Therefore, we have to have a biggest change should come from society. Otherwise, nothing will
ಇವಾಗ ಈ
change.
ಕ್ಯಾಶ್ ಟ್ರಾನ್ಸ್ಫರ್ ಎಲ್ಲ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ರಲ್ಲ ಡೈರೆಕ್ಟ್ ಆಗಿ UPI ಎಲ್ಲ, ಇಸ್ ದಟ್ ಬೆಟರ್ ಥಿಂಗ್? ಇಸ್ ದಟ್ ಹೆಲ್ಪಿಂಗ್ ದ?
It is better because the proof of transfer is there.
Yes.
If it is given under the table, then
ಅದರಿಂದ ಅವ್ರು ಯಾರಿಗೂ ಹೋಗ್ಬೇಕಾಗಿಲ್ಲ, ಡೈರೆಕ್ಟ್ ಆಗಿ ಅವ್ರಿಗೆ ಬರುತ್ತೆ.
although any transaction should be only through such thing, not by cash. There are some places they have that, you shouldn't take by cash and all. But 90% of the places, all transactions are done. The payment of bribe is paid. It could be check or
ದೇ ವಾಂಟ್ ಅಪ್ರೂವ್ ಅನ್ಲೆಸ್ ಅಪ್ರೂವ್ ಬೇರೆ ಆಗಬೇಕು.
ಅಷ್ಟು ಮಾತ್ರ ಅಲ್ಲ, ಲಾಸ್ಟ್ ಪೇಜ್ ಇದ್ಮೇಲೆ ಮಾಡಿ ಡಾಕ್ಯುಮೆಂಟ್ ಕೊಡಬೇಕಾದ್ರೆ ಆತನಿಗೆ ಕೂಡ ಕೊಡಬೇಕು ಕಾಸು. So today accepting bribe is nothing wrong, giving bribe is nothing wrong, making money is the only thing that is the thing. That attitude.
But it is a very strong, complex situation. Accepting money is not wrong, bribing is not wrong, making money. These 3 elements, to break it is not easy, to break that vicious cycle.
That is what the societies act. Because today judiciary is a major part of this. Because justice or the judgment is not delivered within a reasonable time. And ಹಣ ತಗೊಳ್ಳೋನಿಗೂ ಏನು ಹೆದರಿಕೆ ಇಲ್ಲ, ಅಯ್ಯೋ ನನ್ನ 50 ವರ್ಷದ ನಂತರ ನಾನು ಇರ್ತೇನೆ ಎಲ್ಲೋ ಗೊತ್ತಿಲ್ಲ, ಯಾರಿಗೆ ಹೆದರಿಕೆ. So every system today is contributing towards
ಒಂದು ಸ್ಟೇ ಆರ್ಡರ್ ತಂದ್ಬಿಟ್ರೆ ಸಾಕು, ವರ್ಷಾನ್ಗಟ್ಟಲೆ.
ಅದೇ ತೋರಿಸ್ತಾ ಇದೆ, ಸುಪ್ರೀಂ ಕೋರ್ಟಲ್ಲಿ 45 ವರ್ಷ ಪೆಂಡಿಂಗ್ ಕ್ರಿಮಿನಲ್ ಕೇಸು, ಸ್ಟೇ ಬೇಲ್ ಕೊಟ್ಟಿಲ್ಲ, ಅಷ್ಟೊತ್ತಿಗೆ ಅವನು ಸೆಂಟೆನ್ಸ್ ಇಯರ್ ಸರ್ವ್ಡ್ ಅಂಡ್ ಆಲ್, ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ಆಫ್ಟರ್ 45 years ದ ಜಜ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಈಸ್ ಡೆಲಿವರ್ಡ್. ಏನು ನ್ಯಾಯ? ಗಂಡ ಹೆಂಡತಿ ನಡುವೆ ಜಗಳ ಅಂತ 25 ವರ್ಷ, ಗಂಡನಿಗೆ ಹೆಂಡತಿಗೆ 20 ವರ್ಷ, ಡೈವೋರ್ಸ್ ಹೇಳ್ತಾರಂತೆ. ಡೈವೋರ್ಸ್ ಬರುವಾಗ ಗಂಡನಿಗೆ 90 ವರ್ಷ, ಹೆಂಡತಿಗೆ 85 ವರ್ಷ ಆಗ್ತದಂತೆ. ಯಾಕೆ ಡೈವೋರ್ಸ್ ಅದು? ಅವ್ರು ಇರ್ತಾರೆ ಇಲ್ವೋ ಗೊತ್ತಿಲ್ಲ. ಐ ಆಮ್ ನಾಟ್ ಜೋಕಿಂಗ್, ದಿಸ್ ಇಸ್ ದ ಪ್ರೂಫ್ ಇಸ್ ಹಿಯರ್ ವಿನ್ ದ ಟೈಮ್ ನ್ಯೂಸ್ ಪೇಪರ್ ಇಸ್ ಪಬ್ಲಿಷ್ಡ್. 45 years in the Supreme Court.
ಅನ್ಅಕ್ಸೆಪ್ಟಬಲ್. ಇವಾಗ ಇವಾಗ ಪಾಲಿಟಿಷಿಯನ್ಸ್ ಜೊತೆ ಮಾತಾಡಿದ್ರೆ ದೇರ್ ಸಿಂಪಲ್ ಆನ್ಸರ್ ಈಸ್, ಏನು ಮಾಡೋದು ಡಾಕ್ಟ್ರೆ, ಐ ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ಟು ಸ್ಪೆಂಡ್ ಮನಿ ಆನ್ ಮೈ ಎಲೆಕ್ಷನ್, ವಿ ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ಟು ಮೇಕ್ ಮನಿ, ವೇರ್ ವಿಲ್ ದ ಮನಿ ಕಮ್, ಐ ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ಟು ಗೆಟ್ ಆಲ್ ದೀಸ್ ಸೊ ದಟ್ ಐ ಕ್ಯಾನ್ ಸ್ಪೆಂಡ್ ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ವಿನ್ ದ ಎಲೆಕ್ಷನ್. ಸೊ ಇಟ್ ಹಸ್ ಬಿಕಮ್ ಲೈಕ್ ಎ ವಿಷಸ್ ಸೈಕಲ್. ಅದಕ್ಕೇನು, ವಾಟ್ ಈಸ್ ದ ಆನ್ಸರ್ ಟು ದಟ್?
ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ಆನ್ಸರ್ ಇಲ್ಲ ಸ್ವಾಮಿ. When you know it's a crime, when you know you are not supposed to bribe, you still say I have to bribe. ಯಾಕೆ ಗೆಲ್ಲಬೇಕು? ಹಣ ಕೊಟ್ಟು ಗೆಲ್ಲದಿದ್ರೆ ವೋಟ್ ಹಾಕ್ರಿ, ಹಣನ ಕೊಳ್ಳಿ ಆಯ್ತಾ? These are all excuses. For anything in any murder there is an excuse.
Absolutely. There is a reason.
I think the societal aspiration will play a very important role.
Let us start with some sort of propaganda, see, ಶಾಲೆಯಲ್ಲಿ
Correct.
ಮೌಲ್ಯದ ಆಧಾರದ ಮೇಲೆ ಇರಬೇಕು. ಅದನ್ನು ಸಬ್ಜೆಕ್ಟ್ ಆಲ್ಸೋ ಶುಡ್ ಬಿ ಪ್ರಿಪೇರ್ಡ್ ಬೈ ದ ಗೌರ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ಗಿವನ್ ಟು ದ ಸ್ಕೂಲ್ಸ್ ಅನ್ನೋ. ಅಲ್ಲೂ ಅಷ್ಟೇ ಆಗೋದು ಸ್ವಾಮಿ, ಕೊನೆಗೆ ಆ ಕ್ಲಾಸ್ ಬಂದರೆ ಮೇಷ್ಟ್ರಿರಲ್ಲ, ಮೇಷ್ಟ್ರಿದ್ರೆ ಮಕ್ಕಳಿರಲ್ಲ.
It all boils down to aspiration. There is a popular saying when it comes to elections which says, ಯಾರಿಗ್ರಿ ವೋಟ್ ಹಾಕಿದ್ರಿ, ಯಾಕ್ರಿ ವೋಟ್ ಹಾಕಿದ್ರಿ ಅಂದರೆ, ಸರ್ ಬಿರಿಯಾನಿ ಮತ್ತು ಕುಡಿಯೋಕ್ಕೆ ಕೊಡ್ತಾರೆ ಸರ್ ಅಂತ. The question has to now move from, do you want one-time biryani or lifetime biryani?
Yeah, correct.
Right? I think all of us in this room have been benefited from the best good available in our lifetimes, which has been education.
Correct.
Right? Education will give us perspective to understand the complex situation around us, and as we have been discussing, telling what should be, where can India be in the next 25 years? Where can India be in the next 50 years? The aspiration should be to look at societies that have made great transitions in their lifetimes. We have to aspire to be like that. China, with its million flaws, is a great example of how industriously they work hard and how they have been able to become market leaders in their selected areas.
1992 ನಲ್ಲಿ ಇಂಡಿಯಾ ಅಷ್ಟೇ ಇದ್ರು ಅವರು.
Absolutely.
From there it have grown up.
Absolutely.
5 times bigger economy.
Today we are
ಇವಾಗಲೂ fourth in the list of this thing.
Yes.
You are supposed to be fourth international.
yeah.
ಅದು ಎಲ್ಲಿದೆ ಅಂತ ಗೊತ್ತಿಲ್ಲ ಯಾರಿಗೂ.
So essentially, what is the China model? The China model is to understand and compete globally. In India, we compete globally, but in a very few sectors. We compete globally in the sector of IT, we compete globally in the sector of biotechnology, but can we compete globally in terms of cleanliness? Can we compete globally in terms of road standards and implementation? Can we compete globally in terms of mobility? These are not too hard, right? London did congestion pricing and they today have little more reasonable way of looking at managing the city. How did they do that? They transformed the entire city around transport. They said transport for London today coordinates across the city.
Correct.
Why are we, whenever I used to meet the mayors of Bengaluru or the development ministers of Bengaluru or in-charge ministers of Bengaluru, I would feel pity on them, right? It would be like they feel like the mayor of Detroit, a collapsing city. We are not a collapsing city, we are a vibrant, growing city. But our mindset is like the mayor of Detroit.
Yeah.
You have to be like the mayor of London. You have to be like the mayor of New York, wherein you will say, I know where we are and we can go where we want to go. And until unless we change that,
So we don't have the right leaders.
we don't have the right imagination amongst people who will ask the leaders the right questions. No matter who the leader is.
But he
even the
doesn't-
supreme leader,
he doesn't have to listen to you. His vote bank is different.
his vote bank
Say,
is...
ನೀವು,
Yeah.
you are a taxpayer.
Yeah.
I'm a taxpayer. We are only 2% of the population paying tax. For them, it doesn't care. 98% are not paying tax. Andre, not income tax I'm talking about, not service tax. ಅವಾಗ ಅವ್ರು ಅಂತಾರೆ, ನನ್ಗಂತಾರೆ, ನಿಮ್ಗೆ ಏನ್ರಿ ನೀವೇನಾರು ಅಂದ್ಕೊಳ್ರಿ, ನೀವು ವೈ ಐ ವರಿ, ನೀವು ನಮಗೆ ವೋಟ್ ಮಾಡದೇ ಇದ್ರು ಪರವಾಗಿಲ್ಲ. ಐ ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ಆಲ್ ದಿ ಸ್ಲಮ್ ಡ್ವೆಲ್ಲರ್ಸ್ ಅಂಡ್ ವಿಲೇಜಸ್ ಹೂ ವೋಟ್ ಫಾರ್ ಮೀ.
The beauty of elections is something that we should understand. The guarantee of tenure is for a serving bureaucrat.
Yeah,
No politician has guarantee of tenure,
correct.
right? From our neighboring state, we thought that state will never elect other than party A or party B,
Right, correct.
right? Even national politics were scared of saying, okay, we have to ally with party A or party B. And in the recent state election, a new party emerged. So politics...
But after a long time.
That's fine. It's to understand the nature of politics. A politician's life is only till the next election, right? Yes, of course he'll play out.
Maybe that is the reason they want to make as much money as possible.
So that norm is not enough, right? We have seen this happen in Delhi, where a completely outsider party won election and came to power, right? We see it happening in Tamil Nadu. So once people understand that there is power to their aspirations and right representation of their aspirations, they will send these outdated politicians home. Now, how do you make this current crop of politicians outdated? Is by raising their
Challenge.
aspirations. Today, our youngsters are globally connected. They know what's happening around the world. They can see how everything, they can compare our cities, they can compare our states, they can compare our nations and say, why are we doing this so badly?
See, the question here is
give me
Yeah,
2 more
yeah.
minutes, right? The last 3 decades, there has been global mobility of the educated and the higher strata of Indians to go around the world and seek and come back. Now, this is the time, and hopefully in the future, where these global learnings will make inroads into our politics and decision making. I'm far more optimistic about the future, in spite of how bleak the current circumstances
Sridhar,
are.
ನೀವು ಹೇಳೋದು you're right. But when you look at the vote bank of this country, ಬ್ಯಾಂಗ್ಳೂರ್ನಲ್ಲಿ ಎಷ್ಟು 35% ವೋಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೆ, whereas you go to Gundalpet 88% ವೋಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೆ. See, they are not worried. When you interview, they are not worried about the educated class at all. ಏನೋ ಕೂಗಾಡ್ತಾರೆ, ಇದು ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೆ, ಅಲ್ಲೊಂದು ಫ್ಲೈಓವರ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಡ ಅಂತಾರೆ, ಇದು ಮಾಡಬೇಡ ಅಂತಾರೆ ಎನ್ವೈರ್ಮೆಂಟು. ಯಾರಿಗೆ ನೀವು ಹೇಳೋದು ನನಗೆ? ನನ್ನ ವೋಟ್ ಬ್ಯಾಂಕ್ ಇದೆ, ನನ್ನ ವೋಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೆ. See, the problem
in isolation, yes, that vote bank politics works.
Yeah, but see,
what is the reality today? What is the reality today? The major cities of the country, right, which is Bangalore, Hyderabad, Chennai, Mumbai,
Calcutta.
Delhi, and then maybe Calcutta and Pune, right? These are the magnets of talent. ಆ ಗುಂಡ್ಲುಪೇಟಲ್ಲಿ ಹೋದರೆ ನಾವು ಎಷ್ಟೋ ಜನ ಮಕ್ಕಳು ವಲಸೆ ಬಂದಿರ್ತಾರೆ ಬೆಂಗಳೂರಿಗೆ ಜೀವನಕ್ಕೋಸ್ಕರ.
ಇಲ್ಲ, ಕರೆಕ್ಟು. The issue
So
is
the transformation is happening in terms of mobility of people. They have to come to these cities.
But is that urbanization good?
That's inevitable because they see.
Why can't we create purams and cities within there? So like one of the IIT person had given when Abdul Kalam was there, create industrialization, farming, agriculture ಮಾಡ್ಬೋದು, ಇದು ಮಾಡ್ಬೋದು. See, massive urbanization has got its own negative things. It can create environmental issues, even more corruption maybe, and all that.
Yes.
So should we rethink of this rather than
The challenge is you need a lot of competence to retain people in the rural areas. Starting with the cost of power and the quality of power that you get here in Bengaluru as compared to what you get in Gudlumer is enormously different.
Right? We have to put solar plants, we have to revitalize. ಇವಾಗ ನೀವು ಅಮೆರಿಕಾಗೆ ಹೋಗಿದ್ದೀರಾ?
Yeah.
I was in a town outside Chicago. That town was as good as Chicago.
Exactly.
Roads, malls, ಎಲ್ಲ ಇರುತ್ತೆ. See, that is why uniformity comes. Whereas here, ನೀವು ಹೇಳ್ದಂಗೆ ಮುಂಬೈಗೆ ಹೋಗಿ ಒಂದು ಸ್ಲಮ್ನಲ್ಲಿ ಇರ್ತೀನಿ, ಬಟ್ ಐ ವಾಂಟ್ ಟು ಬಿ ಇನ್ ಮುಂಬೈ. Does it really help a country? ತಾವೇನಂತೀರಾ?
Definitely not, unless the power is distributed in the area where constitutionally this thing is that there is a parliament, there is an assembly, there is a taluk board, there is a panchayat. There, like that, the distribution has gone to the, but that has increased corruption more, because what has happened is every citizen knows that he has to pay before he gets relief from the government. Every officer knows unless he collects some money, he won't get the job, or he won't next term he won't be there. Even for transfer, you have to pay money. So first of all, we got to understand what basic change you can bring about in the society. That's the most important thing. There should be people who are opposing corruption to start with, at least, and all, and make it clear that you also, others should come to open this thing like me and all. I'm an honest person, and so like that it may take time, but that.
ಅದರ ಕ್ವಶನ್ ಈಸ್, ನಾನು ಮೊನ್ನೆ ವಾರಣಾಸಿಗೆ ಹೋಗಿದ್ದೆ. ಐ ಡೋಂಟ್ ಅಟೆಂಡ್ ಟೆಂಪಲ್, ಆರ್ಕಿಟೆಕ್ಚರ್ ನೋಡೋಕೆ ಹೋಗ್ತೀನಿ. ನೋಡಿ, ಕಂಪೇರ್ ಟು 15 years ಅಷ್ಟು ಕ್ರೌಡೆಡ್, ಅಂದರೆ ಅನ್ಬಿಲೀವಬಲ್ ಕ್ರೌಡ್. ಕೆಲವು ಜೊತೆ ಮಾತಾಡಿದೆ, ಏನಪ್ಪ ಇಲ್ಲ ಸರ್ ರಾಮ ಮಂದಿರಕ್ಕೆ ಹೋಗಿದ್ದೆ ಅದಕ್ಕೂ. See, when you talk about these characters in mythology, Rama ಇರ್ಬೋದು, such a great character ಅಂತೀವಿ. Why are we not following that? Why are we breaking all rules of Rama? All rules of Dharmaraya, all rules of Karna? We break all the rules, but we go and pray them. What does it make sense? But so that is why I coined the term, we are trained not to think. ಯೋಚನೆ ಮಾಡಬೇಡ, ಬರೀ ಮಂದಿರಕ್ಕೆ ಹೋಗು. ಅವನು ಯಾತಕ್ಕೆ ಸ್ಟ್ಯಾಂಡ್ ಆಗ್ತಾನೆ, ವರಿ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಂಬೇಡಪ್ಪ, ಬ್ರೈಬ್ ಮಾಡು, ಪರವಾಗಿಲ್ಲ, ದುಡ್ಡು ಕೊಡು, ಅದೇ ರಾಮ 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 ಅನ್ನು. Is that the right?
They think our gods are very generous. They'll forgive us, put some money in the gift box, or organize some pujas and other things and all, which the pujari will collect his God. It won't go to God anyway. But people believe that even if you make a mistake or commit a crime, the God will help and all.
Is that really the
Yeah, I'm sure there are 70-80% of the population believes in
God will not punish you?
You know, because I'm praying to him.
I'm bribing also. See, I call it bribing
I
the
didn't
God.
want to use that.
I use it frequently.
The fact is, I think we got to start a movement from the house. It may be, you may think it may not reach this thing during our lifetime. Yes, it is so. But what else can be done? The investigating agency doesn't function at all because they are also involved in it and all. If the investigating agency helps and all, court doesn't help.
ಬೇಲಿಯೇ ಎದ್ದು ಮರ ತಿಂದಂಗೆ.
ಈ ರೀತಿ ಆಗ್ತಾ ಇದೆ. ಅದರಿಂದ ಮೊದಲು ನಾವು ಸಮಾಜದಲ್ಲಿ ದೊಡ್ಡ ಬದಲಾವಣೆ ಆಗೋ ಪ್ರಯತ್ನ ಆಗಬೇಕು. ಇವಾಗ no crime is free from corruption. Before and after also with the thing, you know. So I personally feel even if you increase the sentence, the people will not be afraid of it because they know openly how to delay the case and all, and it is easily delayed and all. That's one thing. The thing. Secondly, but the court's delay is one way and all. After the delay also, if you get death sentence, that execution will take time. So such like things in every organ of the governmental institution, according to me, or majority of them, not 100%, is corrupt. So we have stopped, we already delayed it and all, but according to me, let's go back to the time when people, the society boycotted the thing and all. Then secondly, the governmental action should be changed deeply. The payment of the money for appointment also should be looked into and ways and means found to prevent that. That will, two things according to me, will bring down corruption really. But if the society opposes the corrupt and all, then that is the one thing will definitely make it.
But why did Anna Hazare movement and all fail?
What happened? It movement had support and all. But in the end, when it was coming to negotiation with the government, it failed.
We should not have negotiated.
I was in that and all.
Correct.
India against corruption. And I hesitated very much because having been a retired Supreme Court judge, can I get into the streets? You know? But having worked as a Lokayukta, I realized that unless you do that, there is no way out and all. But when we went there, people of all thinking came in the society. When the movement almost succeeded, they formed a political party. So imagine people who go to that movement, what type of people they are. They already have in mind, if movement succeeds, we will take these people from here. And they came to me. They said, we'll make you the president, we'll make you this and make you that. In Karnataka, we'll make you the chief minister of Karnataka. I said, I'm not there to get into politics. I'm an observer of politics, but I'm not a participant in politics and all, because they are the major cause in the corruption field.
But you don't think right politicians would have made a difference?
Why will they come unless you're not interested in money? People stand for election to make money, distribute money and get vote. So voter is also guilty, a candidate is also guilty. The whole concept has to be changed. That's the most important thing. The society should reject people who are known to be corrupt.
What is your view, Sridhar, on this? Then we'll come to some final thoughts.
No, I agree. The current scenario doesn't give us a lot of hope. But I always wake up every morning and say, do I
Don't
choose
lose
hope or do I accept all reality around us and say we are going to be we will get what we get. But there are two things here. One is this illusion of convenience, right? What we see is the illusion of convenience, right? This is how it is, so you just have
Accept
to
it.
learn to game the system
ಏನ್
and be
ಮಾಡೋದು
better
bribe
off.
ಕೊಡ್ಬೇಕು ಕೊಟ್ಬಿಡು
ಕೊಟ್ಬಿಡೋಣ, ಅದ್ ಮಾಡೋಣ.
ಬೇಗನೆ ಆಗೋಗ್ಬಿಡುತ್ತೆ ಕೆಲಸ.
Yeah.
That is what people tell me.
This is like cycling downhill, right? ಹಾಯಾಗಿರುತ್ತೆ ನಮಗೆ, ಆಯ್ತು ಹಿಂಗೆ ಅಂತ ಅನ್ಕೊಂತಾ ಇದೀವಿ. ಬಟ್ ಇಫ್ ವಿ ಡೋಂಟ್ ಕಂಟ್ರೋಲ್ ಅವರ್ ಸೆಲ್ಫ್, we will have the possibility of being thrown off the cliff.
I just want to interrupt him at this stage. When I was in India against corruption, this Jindal Steel people gave award to Anna Hazare former Chief Minister of Delhi,
Kejriwal.
and myself.
Yeah.
That was 1 crore each. They gave it in. Anna Hazare took it. Kejriwal took it. When it came to me, I said I'll accept it on one condition. What? I want to give it to somebody else. And the check should be written in somebody else's name. You can say it is given to me, then it is given to, I don't understand. Ultimately, they agreed.
They gave.
Then doubt came in my mind. Who shall I give it to? Today, anybody I give it to and all, they will be misusing it or something else has happened. Then I rang up General, I forget the name, Indian Chief of Army. I said, I want to give 1 crore rupees. Who shall I give it amongst you? He said, give it to retired soldiers welfare fund. So I told them, you write a check and gave it, and so they did. And I gave the entire 1 crore rupees.
Fantastic.
When I didn't have a few lakhs of rupees in my account, I was on salary and pension.
Wow.
The thing, you see. That's the way, if you have my legitimate money is only my income and all that, then you don't. Otherwise, crore was a very big rupees for money. Today it is not. Today 1 crore is equivalent to 1,000 rupees.
Amazing. ಏನೋ ನೀವು ಹೇಳ್ತಿದ್ರಿ.
So that illusion of convenience is something that we have to get out of this. See, all of us innately understand there are limits to privatization. There are limits to what money can buy. There is this classic case in Mumbai floods some years ago, sir. There was this amazing doctor, very reputed doctor, who said, okay, I see my house there. Let me wade through the flood waters and I'll reach home. He fell and he died. The threats that India faces are very real, right? And if we keep thinking that let this also be okay, let's compromise on this, we are as intelligent as the frog who is in that slow boiling water, right? So for us to individually think, as rightfully sir said, at a house level, can we start look at understanding the implications of this thought of the illusion of convenience and collectively come together? We can't build greater institutions. So I believe the future of India will be written by small institutions, but who kind of come up with first principles and say what is the long shot in which we think India can be a better nation, right? If we kind of transcend the boundary between private and public, if public goods become the norm,
You look at even health education institutions. Majority are politicians, controlled.
Yeah.
Now hospitals are also being, medical colleges are controlled by this.
I got umpteen examples if you allow me to talk.
Yes, really.
Okay, without marking on it then.
So I agree to this, right? Why are we in this situation with our healthcare education? I've had a chance to look into this a little more closely. And I believe that this is self-inflicted injury that we are doing to ourselves in the healthcare sector. Can't we increase the number of engineers that we can make tenfold? Doctors. Can't we increase it tenfold without compromising the learning standards?
That's important.
Right? So that should be our only objective. It's not about saying should politicians, son or daughter, have one more medical college to begin with. I think that fundamental change will change everything.
In my view, it has got beyond, because today doctors coming out of these medical colleges require massive retraining.
Yeah.
I see this.
Correct.
So ಸುಮ್ಮನೆ ಕಾಲೇಜಸ್ ಮಾಡಿ ಇದು ಮಾಡಿ ಪ್ರಯೋಜನ ಆಗ್ತಿಲ್ಲ.
So I'll give you an example, right? I mean, the biggest source of wealth for India in the last 3 decades has been the engineering talent that has been systematically harnessed and trained and made globally competitive. We have to aspire to be globally competitive in our healthcare talent, right? Only then we can do this, right? UK is struggling. Sir, you know how difficult UK healthcare, NHS is. But NHS did something smart, right? UK, India have this joint thing wherein they said, okay, you come and serve for 5 years. You learn, we will teach you, we will get benefit.
But what I told is we don't need your teaching. We are not colonized anymore.
No, but having said,
remember that.
But having
we
said,
don't need you. Why we want colonized?
Having said that, we have a wage problem in our nation. I do the same work across in US or UK. I'll get paid 5 times, 10 times,
Correct,
20 times more.
correct too,
So the aspiration for migration will only go down.
Today, I can tell you, for in people in my field, they make same as US. Because I'm one of the person who pays them.
Only few of you, right?
No, lot of them.
Lot of us, yes. So
It
I'm
has
just
improved
saying.
dramatically. And look at the purchasing power.
Correct.
You know, ಎಲ್ಲಿ ನಿಮಗೆ ಕಾಫಿ 25 ರೂಪಾಯಿ ಸಿಗುತ್ತಲ್ಲಿ.
Correct.
You know, you are getting coffee and you go to good filter coffee for
Sir, I'll get you top quality masala dosa for 35 rupees
Yeah, yes,
right
yeah.
across my house
People-
at Plaza Thing,
Alva.
right?
So-
So what I'm saying is there is a great opportunity for India to reimagine our healthcare by starting at the number of doctors we create, the kind of people who run these institutions, and can it be
Sridhar,
meritocracy?
unless we have talked about this, we'll have another conversation. Universal healthcare ತೆಗೆದ್ರೆ ಆಗಲ್ಲ.
Right.
See, the disparity in so much. ಇವಾಗ ಒಬ್ಬ ಬಡವ ವೈಫ್ ಬಂದರು, ಒಬ್ಬ ದೊಡ್ಡ ಮರ್ಸಿಡೀಸ್ ಕಾರ್ನಲ್ಲಿ ಬಂದರು, ಒಟ್ಟಿಗೆ ಒಂದೇ ರೀತಿ ಟ್ರೀಟ್ ಮಾಡೋಕ್ಕೆ ಆಗದೆ ಇದ್ರೆ ಆಗಲ್ಲ. ನನಗೆ ಯು ಎಸ್ನಲ್ಲಿ ದಟ್ ಈಸ್ ವಾಟ್ ಇಟ್ ಈಸ್. ಐ ಆಮ್ ಎ ಮೆಡಿಕೇರ್, ಇವನ್ ದೋ ಐ ಗೇವ್ ಅಪ್ ಯು ಎಸ್ ಗ್ರೀನ್ ಕಾರ್ಡ್ ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ಆಲ್. I still carry Medicaid. I can go to any hospital because I paid in my youth.
Correct.
And get free care, no limits.
Correct.
ಅದು ಬರ್ದೊರ್ತು ಆಗೋದಿಲ್ಲ. ಇವಾಗ ಏನಾಗಿದೆ ಅಂದರೆ ಯಾರಿಗೋ ಒಬ್ರಿಗೆ ಪೇಷಂಟು 2 ವರ್ಷ ಆದಮೇಲೆ ಕ್ಯಾನ್ಸರ್ ವಾಪಸ್ ಬಂದರೆ 28-year-old ಗರ್ಲ್ ಯಾಕಪ್ಪ ಬಂತು ಸರ್, ಟ್ರೀಟ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಕೊಡೋಕ್ಕಾಗಲಿಲ್ಲ, ಸಿಸ್ಟಮ್ ಸ್ಕೀಮ್ ಕೊಡಲಿಲ್ಲ ಅವ್ರಿಗೆ. ಸೊ ದ ಡಾಕ್ಟರ್ ನೋಸ್ ವಾಟ್ ಇಸ್ ದ ರೈಟ್ ಥಿಂಗ್, ಬಟ್ ಸ್ಕೀಮ್ ಡಸಂಟ್ ಪೇ, ಶಿ ಡೈಸ್. ಹೂ ಇಸ್ ರೆಸ್ಪಾನ್ಸಿಬಲ್? Government doesn't want to take any responsibility. So universal healthcare ಬರಲೇಬೇಕು.
So greater realization of people.
Then people will penetrate tier 2, tier 3 cities. ಎಲ್ಲರೂ ಇವಾಗ ಬಂದು ಬೆಂಗಳೂರಿನಲ್ಲಿ ಕೂತಿದ್ದಾರೆ.
Correct.
You know, making tons of money.
Correct.
You know, as a doctor I am taking, they make tons.
Yeah.
And they don't want to even pay tax, income tax ಎಷ್ಟೋ ಜನ.
Correct.
That is another discussion.
So the
again, the ball goes back to the serving the thing, starts from home.
Yeah.
ಎಲ್ಲದಕ್ಕೂ saying our family thinking.
Correct.
ತಾವು ಹೇಳ್ತೀನಿ ಅಂದರೆ ದುಡ್ಡು ಮೆಡಿಕಲ್ ಕಾಲೇಜ್ದು ಎಲ್ಲ.
ನಾನು hundreds of things, because that's one of the major problems people suffer from in Karnataka. One day parents brought me a 6 months old child. ಏನಪ್ಪ ಸಮಸ್ಯೆ ಅಂತ ಕೇಳಿದ್ರೆ, ಸ್ವಾಮಿ ಮಗುವಿಗೆ ಗುದದ್ವಾರ ಇಲ್ಲ, ತಿನ್ನೋದು ಬಾಯಲ್ಲಿ, ಹೊರಗೆ ತರೋದು ಬಾಯಲ್ಲಿ. ಊರು ಡಾಕ್ಟ್ರ್ ಹೇಳ್ತಾರೆ, ಬಾಗಲಕೋಟೆ ಡಾಕ್ಟ್ರ್ ಹೇಳ್ತಾರೆ, ಈ ಮಗುವನ್ನೊಂದು ಸುಸಜ್ಜಿತ ಆಸ್ಪತ್ರೆಗೆ ಕರ್ಕೊಂಡು ಹೋಗಿ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಮಕ್ಕಳ ತಜ್ಞ ಆಪರೇಷನ್ ಮೂಲಕ ಸರಿ ಮಾಡಿಸ್ಕೊಡ್ತಾನೆ. ಅದನ್ನು ನಂಬಿಟ್ಟು ಈ ಮಕ್ಕಳು ಈ ಮಗುವನ್ನು ಒಂದು ಹುಬ್ಳಿ ಗೌರ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಮೆಡಿಕಲ್ ಕಾಲೇಜಿಗೆ ಕರ್ಕೊಂಡು ಹೋಗ್ತಾರೆ. ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಡಾಕ್ಟರ್ ಮಗುವನ್ನು ಎಕ್ಸಾಮಿನ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾನೆ, ಎಲ್ಲ ಸರಿ ಮಾಡಿ ಕೊಡ್ತಾನೆ, ಅಂದರೆ ಇದಿಷ್ಟು ಖರ್ಚಾಗ್ತದೆ. ಅವ್ರು ಹೇಳ್ತಾರೆ, ಅಷ್ಟು ಹಣ ನಮ್ಮ ಹತ್ರ ಇಲ್ಲ ಅಂತ. ಹಾಗಾದರೆ ಇಷ್ಟು ಕೊಡಿ, ನಾನು ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಪಕ್ಕದಲ್ಲಿ ಒಂದು ಸಂಧಿ ಮಾಡಿಕೊಡ್ತೇನೆ, ಅದರಿಂದ ಮಲ ಹೊರಗೆ ಹೋಗ್ತದೆ, ಮಗು ಒಂದು ಬ್ಯಾಗ್ ಹಾಕ್ಕೊಂಡಿರಬೇಕು ಜೀವನ ಪರ್ಯಂತ. ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ಬುದ್ಧಿವಂತರು ಇರಬೇಕು ಪೇರೆಂಟ್ಸ್. ಟೈಲರ್ ಆಗಿದ್ದ, ಅವರ ಮಗುವನ್ನು ವಾಪಸ್ ಪಡ್ಕೊಂಡು ನೇರ ನಮ್ಮ ಹತ್ರ ಬಂದರು. ನಾನು ಆ ಮಗುವನ್ನು ಕರ್ಕೊಂಡು ಹಳೆ ಏರ್ಪೋರ್ಟ್ ರೋಡಲ್ಲಿರುವಂಥ ಮಣಿಪಾಲ್ ಆಸ್ಪತ್ರೆಗೆ ಹೋದೆ. ಅಲ್ಲಿ ನನ್ನ ಚಿಕಿತ್ಸೆ ನಡೀತಾ ಇತ್ತು. ನಮ್ಮ ಊರವರು, ನನ್ನ ಪರಿಚಯ ಇತ್ತು. ಹೇಳಿದೆ, ಈ ಮಗುವಿಗೊಂದು ಭವಿಷ್ಯ ಕೊಡಿ, ನಮ್ಮ ಹತ್ರ ಹಣ ಇಲ್ಲ ಕೊಡೋಕ್ಕೆ. ಇಲ್ಲ ಪರವಾಗಿಲ್ಲ ಅಂತ ಅವ್ರು ಮಾಡಿದರು. ಆ ಮಗು ಇವತ್ತು BA ಮಾಡ್ತಾಯಿದ್ದೆ, 6 ತಿಂಗಳ ಮಗು. ನನ್ನ ಹತ್ರ ಫೋಟೋ ಇದೆ, ಅದೇ ಹುಡುಕ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೆ. ಅದು 6 ತಿಂಗಳ ಇದೆ.
Yeah, it's a grown up boy.
ಹಾಂ, ಗರ್ಲ್. ಇದು ನಂದು ಎಕ್ಸ್ಪ್ಲೇನ್ ಮಾಡೋಕ್ಕಾಗಲ್ಲ. ಇದು ನೋಡಿ, ಇದು ವೀಕೆಂಡ್ ವಿತ್ ರಮೇಶ್ ಪ್ರೋಗ್ರಾಮಲ್ಲಿ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಕರೆದಿದ್ರು, ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಮಗುವನ್ನು ಕರ್ಕೊಂಡು ಬಂದಿದ್ರು. ಯಾ ನೋಡಿ, ಈ ಮಗು ಚಿಕ್ಕ ಮಗು ಇದು.
Fantastic.
ಆವಾಗ ವಯಸ್ಸಾಗಿತ್ತು ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ. ಅದು ದೊಡ್ಡವಳಾದ್ಮೇಲೆ ಇತ್ತು. ಹೋದ ವರ್ಷ ಕರ್ಕೊಂಡು ಬಂದಿದ್ರು, 21 ವರ್ಷನೇ ಆಗಿದೆ ಇವಾಗ.
ಅಲ್ಲ, ಇವಾಗ ಕಮಿಂಗ್ ಟು ದ ಎಜುಕೇಷನ್ ಸಿಸ್ಟಮ್, ಪಾಲಿಟಿಷಿಯನ್ಸ್ ಆಲ್ ಸ್ಟಾರ್ಟಿಂಗ್ ಕಾಲೇಜಸ್ ಅಂಡ್ ಆಲ್, ಕ್ಯಾನ್ ದೇರ್ ಬಿ ಗುಡ್ ಕ್ವಾಲಿಟಿ ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ವಾಟ್ ಡು ಯು ಥಿಂಕ್ ಆಫ್ ದಟ್? ವಾಟ್ is it one way of clipping the money
don't
also?
Accuse me of repeating the whole thing again and all. Again, it should start from home. Otherwise, even if you are good for some time, you turn to be bad at the time comes when the temptation becomes more with the thing. I have seen it from the thing. ಇಲ್ಲೇ ಬಂದು ಆಫೀಸರ್ಗಳು ಎಷ್ಟು ಆಫರ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ರು ನಮಗೆ. But fortunately, I had very good officers. These officers were working in the government, not listening to the ministers and others and all. So they were not wanted. So they shifted them to Lokayukta, and they did wonderful job. 3 ಮುಖ್ಯಮಂತ್ರಿಗಳ ವಿರುದ್ಧ ಚಾರ್ಜ್ ಶೀಟ್ ಹಾಕಿದ್ದೇನೆ ಸ್ವಾಮಿ. ಒಬ್ಬರು ನನ್ನನ್ನು ಬರಮಾಡಿಕೊಂಡವರು ಲೋಕಾಯುಕ್ತನಾಗಿ.
ಅಮೇಝಿಂಗ್ ಅಮೇಝಿಂಗ್.
ಅಲ್ಲ, ಅವರು ನಾನು ಚಾರ್ಜ್ ಶೀಟ್ ಹಾಕಿದಾಗ ಪೇಪರಲ್ಲಿ ಸ್ಟೇಟ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಕೊಟ್ಟರು, ನಾನು ಸಾಚಾ ವ್ಯಕ್ತಿ ಅಲ್ಲ, ಸಂತೋಷ್ ಹೆಗ್ಡೆ ಸಾಚಾ ವ್ಯಕ್ತಿ ಅಲ್ಲ, ಅವನ ರಾತ್ರಿ ವೆಚ್ಚವನ್ನು ಲೆಕ್ಕ ಹಾಕಬೇಕು ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿದರು. ಅದು ಪೇಪರಲ್ಲಿ ಬಂತು. ನಾನು ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ರಿಪ್ಲೈ ಕೊಟ್ಟೆ, ನಾನು 10 ಗಂಟೆಗೆ ಆಫೀಸಿಗೆ ಹೋಗ್ತೇನೆ, 5 ಗಂಟೆವರೆಗೆ ಆಫೀಸಲ್ಲಿ ಇರ್ತೇನೆ, ಆಮೇಲೆ ಕಾರ್ಯಕ್ರಮಗಳು ಇದ್ದರೆ ಕಾರ್ಯಕ್ರಮಕ್ಕೆ ಹೋಗ್ತೇನೆ, ಏನೂ ಇಲ್ಲದೆ ಇದ್ದರೆ ಕ್ಲಬ್ಬಿಗೆ ಹೋಗ್ತೇನೆ, ಆದರೆ ಕತ್ತಲಾದ ತಕ್ಷಣ ಮನೆಗೆ ಹೋಗ್ತೇನೆ, ನನಗಿರೋದು 1 ಕಾರು 1 ಫ್ಲ್ಯಾಟು, ಒಬ್ಬಳೇ ಹೆಂಡತಿ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿದೆ. ಅವರಿಗೆ ಅವಾಗ 2 ಇದ್ದರು. ಅಲ್ಲ, ಅದು ಯಾಕೆ ಹೇಳ್ತೇನೆ ಅಂದರೆ, ನಾನು ಯಾರಿಗೂ ಹೆದರಲಿಲ್ಲ ಸ್ವಾಮಿ. ಎಷ್ಟೊಂದು ರಿಮಾರ್ಕ್ಸ್ ಬಂದವು, ಅವ್ರದ್ದು ಹೇಳಿದ್ದಕ್ಕೂ ನಾನು ಹೇಳಿದ್ದಕ್ಕೂ ಎಷ್ಟೊಂದು ರಿಮಾರ್ಕ್ಸ್ ಬಂದವು. ಆಮೇಲೆ ಅವರ ಅಪ್ಪ ನನಗೆ ಫೋನ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ರು, ಹೇಳಿದ ಮರೆತು ಬಿಡಿ ಅಂತ. ಇಲ್ಲ, ನಾನು ಹೇಳಿದ್ದೇನೆ, ಇಬ್ಬರು ಮರೆತು ಬಿಡಿಕ್ಕೆ ಅವ್ರಿಗೆ ಹೇಳಿ ನಾನು ಮರ್ತೇನೆ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿ. I have many such instances, where we used to telephone to the doctor and say that we are sending you so and so, and you got to treat him and all. ಅವ್ರು ಮಾಡ್ತಾಯಿದ್ರು, ಬೇಡ ಅಂತಿಲ್ಲ, ಏನಾದರೂ ಹಿಡಿದ್ಬಿಟ್ಟು ಮತ್ತೆ ಕೋರ್ಟಿಗೆ ಎಲ್ಲ ಹೋಗಬೇಕಲ್ಲ ಅಂತ. ಸೊ ದಿ ಪೀಪಲ್ ಕೇಮ್ ಟು ನೋ ದಟ್ ಥ್ರೂ ಅಸ್ ಯು ಕ್ಯಾನ್ ಗೆಟ್ ಇಟ್ ಡನ್ ಫಾರ್ ವೇರಿಯಸ್ ಥಿಂಗ್. ದಟ್ಸ್ ವೈ I enjoyed my work there, It's not corruption alone. It's things like this, where people are suffering for want of some benefit,
No, amazing. Ivan, nimge one last question. Nimgu kya hai? Today, let us say you have all the powers you have been given. How would you change the corruption agli bere? Change it with one stroke of pen so that the future generations will see it differently and we become honest. ಇವಾಗ ಆನೆಸ್ಟ್ ಕಂಟ್ರಿ ಅಂದರೆ ವಿ ಸೇ ನಾರ್ವೆ ಇಸ್ ವೆರಿ ಆನೆಸ್ಟ್, ಸ್ಕ್ಯಾಂಡಿನೇವಿಯಾ ಇಸ್ ವೆರಿ,
ಸ್ಕ್ಯಾಂಡಿನೇವಿಯನ್ ಕಂಟ್ರಿ, ನಾರ್ವೆ, ಸ್ವೀಡನ್, ಡೆನ್ಮಾರ್ಕ್
ಅದೆಲ್ಲ ಅಂತೀವಿ. ಆ ಥರ ನಾವು ಆಗಬೇಕು ಅಂದರೆ ಇಫ್ ಯು ಆರ್ ಗಿವನ್ ದ ಪವರ್, ನೀವೇನು ಮಾಡ್ತೀರಾ ಒಂದು ಸ್ಟ್ರೋಕ್ನಲ್ಲಿ?
ಒಂದು ಸ್ಟ್ರೋಕ್ ಅಂದರೆ ಆ ಸ್ಟ್ರೋಕಿಗೆ 10 ವರ್ಷ ಬೇಕು.
ಓಕೆ.
ಸೊ ಯು ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ಟು ಟ್ರೈ ಫ್ರಮ್ ದ ಫಸ್ಟ್ ಥಿಂಗ್, ದಟ್ಸ್ ಫ್ರಮ್ ದ ಹೌಸ್, ಫ್ರಮ್ ದ ಸ್ಕೂಲ್.
ಅದೇ ನೀವು ಪವರಲ್ಲಿ ಹೆಂಗೆ ಚೇಂಜ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀರಾ? ಅದಲ್ಲ, ಹೌ ವಿಲ್ ಯು ಚೇಂಜ್ ಆಲ್ ದಟ್? ಯು ಆರ್ ಇನ್ ಪವರ್.
Yes, that's what I'm saying. I will start a movement for the societal change of the views of the thing and all. Then I will bring about a change in the educational system where I can make it compulsory to have moral values, including honesty and other things. Then bring about a much stricter administrative reactions and all the thing. If any matter is brought to the notice of the designated officer, that this officer has not done my job with this, obviously he's taken money, then he has got Lokayukta to investigate, and they investigate and give a report. All should be done within 1 year.
You'll create fear also.
Yeah, that's the Lokayukta's movement itself will create fear, and Lokayukta himself can solve even before prosecuting. Like I said, we would contact the doctor concerned, ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಬಂದಿದ್ದಾರೆ, ಅವ್ರು ನಿಮ್ಮ ಹತ್ರ ಕಳಿಸ್ಕೊಡ್ತೇನೆ, ಅವರು 1 ತಿಂಗಳೊಳಗೆ ಅವ್ರು ರಿಪೋರ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು ನನಗೆ ಏನಾಗಿದೆ ಅಂತ ಈ ರೀತಿ ಹೇಳಿದರೆ ಆ ಕೆಲಸ ಮುಗಿತದೆ. 100ರಲ್ಲಿ 10 ಆದರೂ ಯು ಕ್ಯಾನ್ ಫಿನಿಶ್ ಇಟ್ ವಿದೌಟ್ ಕರಪ್ಷನ್. ಮೀನ್ ಟೈಮ್ ದ ಪ್ರೊಪಗೇಟಿಂಗ್ ದಿಸ್ ಥಿಯರಿ ಆಫ್ ಆನೆಸ್ಟಿ, that also simultaneously should be good. I don't know how long it will take, because today corruption in administration has become such a problem to people. And everybody has got excuses. ನಾನೇನು ಮಾಡೋದು, ನಾನು ಹುದ್ದೆಗೆ ಬರುವಾಗ ಕೊಟ್ಟಿದ್ದೇನೆ, ಇಷ್ಟು ಕೊಟ್ಟಿದ್ದೇನೆ, ಈ ರೀತಿ ಎಲ್ಲ ಇರ್ತಾರೆ. ದೇರ್ಫೋರ್ ಪ್ರಯತ್ನ ಮಾಡೋದು, ನಾವು ಪ್ರಯತ್ನ ಮೊದಲು ಎಲ್ಲ ಜನರು, ನಂಬರ್ ಆಫ್ ಪೀಪಲ್ ಜಾಯ್ನಿಂಗ್ ದಿಸ್ ಮೂವ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಆನೆಸ್ಟ್ಲಿ, ನಾಟ್ ಲೈಕ್ ಅರುಣ್ ಕೇಜ್ರಿವಾಲ್ ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ಅದರ್ಸ್, ಶುಡ್ ಬಿ more. That's the most important. Otherwise, a situation like this cannot be dealt with at all. ದೇವರೇ ಕರಪ್ಟ್ ಆದರೆ ನಾವೇನು ಮಾಡೋಕ್ಕೆ ಸಾಧ್ಯ? ಆ ದೇವರನ್ನು ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ಬದಲಾಯಿಸೋಕ್ಕೆ ಪ್ರಯತ್ನ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು. ಐ ಆಮ್ ಶ್ಯೂರ್ ದಿಸ್ ಈಸ್ ಎ ಪಾಸಿಂಗ್ ಸ್ಟೇಜ್. ನೋಬಡಿ ಟ್ರೈಡ್ serious move from the government. The movement from people have been there now and then, would be there. But government should become the force enforcing authority ಅಲ್ಲ. ಅದರಿಂದಾಗಿ ಸರ್ಕಾರದಿಂದ ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ರಿಯಾಕ್ಷನ್ ಬರಬೇಕು. ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ಬಿಸಿ ಹುಟ್ಟಿಸುವಂಥ ಸಂದರ್ಭ ನಾವು ಪ್ರಯತ್ನ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು. I mean, it's not something that can be done in 1 year or 2 years. The simultaneous work of educating people, then bringing about administrative change, with the number of people deciding one issue is not necessary, one table itself should be enough and all. Elected representatives should not have any power in administration.
Very important.
If you get any complaint, the representatives should be held for not this thing. So if they want, let them represent the people's difficulty to the concern, but they should have no administrative power.
Very good point. That's very good. Sridhar, you.
So I have 4 set of things, but I'll spend more time in the first of it, right? Okay. The 4 steps are transparency, accountability, greater citizen participation, and devolution of powers, right? But just so that we'll expand on transparency, there has to be, it's globally known, and in the world of medicine, they say sunlight is the best disinfectant, right? So for us to open up the government affairs and say, here is where we are as a nation, this radical transparency will bring in great reforms in our nation. There are some excellent examples of how certain parts of the government is functioning very efficiently. One thing that we all know has been the competition between the cities of Bangalore and Hyderabad to attract capital for the IT sector, right? So the only reason Hyderabad could even come so close to Bengaluru has been how their administrators have sat on every investment proposal that came in and gave a single window clearance. And I think that's the kind of mindfulness that we need from the government official. Not just to attract big capital, but to solve every person's everyday affair. I'll give an example. Recently, I went to a government office for something. Sir, you will be shocked to hear this. It had something to do with our parents, so I had to give my mother's death certificate. So I gave my mother's death certificate, and the clerk sitting in the office said, "Sir, idana notarize madkondu bandbidi, sir." Right? The death certificate today is something that you can online verify. But he used the excuse of sending it to a dead letter office like the notary's office to verify something that's online verifiable. So we will use all these kind of bypasses.
Yes.
If you give discretion to every Tom, Dick and Harry in the government, we just have to say what is our role. Start with radical transparency and we will leapfrog. We have the ability to be the best nation in the world. We have the smartness, we have the resilience, we have the resources today. India is not of PL 480. We behave like we are India of PL 480.
Right.
We are not. We are a formidable power. But our mindsets have to change.
The colonization effect.
Colonization effect.
Yeah, even the development will be taken, made use of by the corrupt officer.
Exactly. So if we don't correct ourselves at this point of time, we'll go into an abyss and fall off a cliff from where we can't climb.
Come back.
Right? Because today challenges are global.
Unemployment in youths.
Absolutely.
In rural, 38% to 40%. ನಾನು ಮೊನ್ನೆ ಒಂದು ಇಂಟರ್ವ್ಯೂ ಮಾಡಿದಾಗ 800 ಪೀಪಲ್ ಕೇಮ್ 650 or 800 ಎಲ್ಲರೂ MCom BCom ಜಾಬ್ ಇಲ್ಲ ಸರ್ ಸಿ ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ಬಿಕಾಸ್ ದೇ ಡೋಂಟ್ ಮೀಟ್ ದ ಸ್ಟ್ಯಾಂಡರ್ಡ್ಸ್ ಆಫ್ ಸಿಟಿ ಕಿಡ್ಸ್ these are major issues. Unemployment is huge.
The cockroach movement in Delhi, half the people were unemployed people.
Yes.
And it all started because of the Chief Justice of India made a stupid statement. He used the word cockroach for unemployed people.
Yeah.
He called them cockroach and all. Later he tried to explain it in this, but where was the need for him to talk?
I just want to end something
Yes,
of
yes.
what as a city we are, what as a nation we are. I still remember the first time I had a long conversation with Justice Hegde was when he was retiring as the Lokayukta.
Okay.
It was a day where in his office, in his home, so many people landed up to thank him for the work that he had done.
Yeah.
And the grace he had on that day, meeting hundreds of people and sharing that what he aspired to do as Lokayukta is very important, right? That day, my belief in institution building went up. Many months later, when the India Against Corruption happened, I hope I got the timeline correct that India Against Corruption happened after you retired as the Lokayukta. One corrupt politician made a statement saying that, oh, you think that one Lokpal will fix this system? Where will you get this Lokpal from? Will you bring him from the heaven? So that tells us the fundamental dilemma that we are facing with. Solutions are with us. We don't want to give the car to the person with the right skills to drive. And if we don't give the car to the right person with the skills to drive, either he'll kill himself or he'll kill somebody else on the street. The choice is with us of what we'll do with individual power and collective governance power.
Everybody has a role.
Everybody has a
Final words.
Change is, of course, absolutely necessary, no doubt about it. But the way to change is there, but difficult to bring it into force. But that doesn't prevent us from making an effort, without which I don't think it will be solved at all. Therefore, let's all join together. First, let us become honest in life. Second, let's all become a human being. That's more important.
Very
also.
important, yeah.
With these two aspects, if it is brought to force, I'm sure, if not tomorrow, day after tomorrow, there will be a change.
Thank you very much. With these final words from Justice, we'll conclude. And I just want to say we had iconic figure today, Santosh Hegde, Sridhar Kabishetty. It's great. Lot of wisdom, wise words. Hopefully we'll all come together and follow. We'll see how to take this movement forward. Thank you very much.